thinnings in the protective flare allow for otherworldly essence called bleed to seep into our world. This bleed manipulates the mundane into the extraordinary. Those that experiment with this essence have found many ways to exploit it, for ill intent or to push innovation. Caution must be exercised, for an excess amount of bleed can cause irreversible harm and even death. Such experimentation is prohibited by Candela, the organization to protect the people of New Fair and contain anomalies. As a bleed-filled tragedy strikes the city, a circle of investigators endeavor to explore the potential found within the wreckage. Will they find the prestige they seek, or become overwhelmed in the essence of beyond? Circle of the Shadowed Abyss, assignment number 371, a beginning forged. The warm orange glow of the morning sun reflects off the top of the tall angular buildings of the Silver Slip District. The Capitol building with a vibrant teal dome casts its shadow over the street and plaza below. The white-collar workers flood through the street, beginning their workday as smoke billows from the top of far-off factories in the neighboring steel district. A teenage boy stands on the side of the street, holding a newspaper up in the air. Red Lamp Renegades sweep the Halen 8 in the championship game. Read all about it. Only 2 pieces. Midsummer Festival begins in 5 days at the Calanus Market. Everything you need to know right here in the Halen Star. A man in a nice suit and top hat passes the boy 2 pieces and grabs one of the papers in a stack next to him. The boy nods. Have a great day, sir. He turns and continues. Premier Maligson approaches the end of her final term. Who will replace her? Will it be... Boom! The boy flinches, ducking down. A plume of smoke shoots into the air as the sound of the explosion shakes the nearby windows. As the boy straightens up, he turns and looks in the direction of the smoke and sees it rising from the direction of the steel. A whistle blows as some nearby uniformed periphery climb into their vehicle and start it with a rumble, taking off towards the smoke with their siren blaring. The boy snatches up the rest of his papers and starts off toward the headquarters of the Halen Star. People continue their walk as they nervously glance over the shoulders at the smoke continuing to billow into the air. We turn away from the smoke and look across the city of New Fair. It's a beautiful morning, now struck with tragedy. Each district is bustling with carriages, cars, and people. The blare of an arriving train into the steam echoes over the city. We make our way west over the rooftops and into the Hallow Harbor district, where we close in on a sign outside of a library. Written on this wooden sign is bright, curving letters. It says, Hallows Haven. A bell rings as a figure enters in the front door. We move to the back of the shop of this library, through a secret door, and we see a man. Clyde, if you'll introduce yourself, tell us a little bit what you're doing in the back room of Hallows Haven.
Professor Clyde Bigglesworth. I am here to begin our next investigation at the chapter, at our Circle of the Shadowed Abyss. And I currently go to the back of the chapter because always on my mind is the studies. I must make a name for myself at the Briar College, at the Academy. I go to the back, I find a place to sit down, my hair disheveled, my mustache twirl. I take a monocle out of my pocket and put it to my eye as I, somewhat shakenly, take out a journal, open it to a page where on the dates there's 3 days missing from years past during the war. I look through the pages feverishly thinking, what happened during those 3 days? No matter how much I try to grasp, I just cannot remember. And I just go back and forth between the pages, seeing someone named Henry, events, studies, experiments, something with the bleed. And I sit there looking back and forth feverishly, wondering, where's the secret? What am I missing? That is where I sit.
And as you're doing this, you're very locked into your study, and you hear, startling you from your study, the secret door into the chapter slides open, and in walks a familiar man. He has bright red hair and beard streaked with gray. He has a long scar cutting from his ear across his face and over his left eye, which is milky white and unseeing. This is Vince McCormick. He's your lightkeeper. He walks with a slight limp and uses the help of a black and gold walking cane. Morning, Clyde.
Vince. Seems we are the early birds to this meeting.
Yes, it's a terrible thing that brings us all here. The others should be along shortly. They got their messages. How are you doing today?
Very well, very well. You know, always my mind is preoccupied, thinking about my studies, my research. My research always comes first. But, of course, maybe this will help me in this, so I'm glad to be here, glad to be of service. And I slowly shuffle my journal back into my side bag.
You think the circle is ready for this assignment after the last one?
You know, it's just I think we all know the risks of being a part of the circle, delving into secrets, delving into things that we may not know, that we may not fully understand. But for me, I've accepted what has happened, and I move forward knowing the risks. I can't say the same for the rest of our party, but I think we're ready.
I hope so. They may look to your leadership during this assignment.
Yes.
Assignment does strike close to home. And as he says this, the door slides open again, and we see another man entering. Drake, if you will introduce yourself and what you look like.
Hello, I'm Drake Paul, or most call me Drake, 28, and I've got a sharp, straightforward type of personality, just casual wares, and I have lost my father to the mysterious magic that is in this city, in these areas. And I go forth and I try to follow in his footsteps to find out what happened to my father. Did he disappear? Is he alive? Is he dead? And I uncover these secrets, and I am a journalist as well. Always tired, searching, finding everything I can to get closer and closer.
Trying to find your next big story, big hit.
Yep.
Make a name for yourself. Very nice. And just as you walk in and the door is starting to close, a lithe woman slips through, and right behind Drake is Jezebel. If you will describe yourself and what you were doing.
Yeah, so I slowly walk in, and I'm very mysterious, gothic looking. My style is Southern Gothic. But I'm very like, I have dark hair, dark lips, dressed like in a black long dress that's like lacy. I'm a medium, so I don't say much. I just come in and sit down in a chair and say, let's get started.
Very nice.
It's good to see you again, Jezebel.
Good to see you too,
You too, Drake.
Professor.
You know what you did.
Ooh.
Nice to meet you.
And Vince looks around at all of you. It's good you are all here. Are you all well? Are you all ready for this?
Yes. Let's move on to the details.
Yeah,
I'm sure we're all fine.
Let's get this started. I want to find out the secrets immediately.
Except for you,
Very well.
Jezebel. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for asking.
Let's get on with it.
Should have known. Settle down, Drake. We'll get to it.
Vince takes 3 folders and passes them out to you all. There's a series of papers in them, and as you open them, you see names and drawn pictures, because photographs aren't too common during this time. You'll see one every once in a while, but you see drawn pictures of a destroyed warehouse and of a series of periphery there. Periphery is the local law enforcement. You
Is
also
your work,
see-
Vince?
Yes.
Ex-
I
Excellent
pride
artistry
myself
as
in that.
always.
And you see a lot of names of victims. You just scrolling past, you see Edward Crinan, Cooper Throp, Nina Veritos, Bor Cronston, Jarvis, and he just keeps going on and on. And he looks down at the last folder he keeps for himself. Our contact in the OUP, Farah, just informed us that the explosion that happened in the steel this morning came from the Anderson Pipe Factory. As they have gone through the wreckage, there has been an unusual small amount of bodies. People have reported loved ones that should have been inside that have not been located. Farah told us that something is very strange and advised that we look into it. The circle here in the steel are currently preoccupied with a large thinning in the construction of the subway tunnels through Old Fair, and so we have been asked to attend to this. Farah said one of the survivors, a woman named Cher Crinan, had a husband who is one of the missing victims, and said that she reported seeing something out of place in the factory in the morning. She is currently at the New Fair morgue looking for her husband there, and she would be a good place to start. Now, there's a lot going on here. You have the OUP, who,
Could
we all
you
know-
say that name one more time? Sorry, Vince. I was
Cher,
getting my notebook ready.
very good. Cher Crinan should be on your third paper there. It is CHERE space CRINNIN. And as you know, the OUP, the Office of Unexplained Phenomena, they don't really like us too much, so it may be hard to get access to the factory. At least during the morning. As we know, at night, the steel is a dangerous place filled with lots of crime, but it may be the only way for you guys to find your way in. I would say go find her and hear what Cher has to say. Question her to find out any information, what it was that stood out of place. See if you can find any other victims there or families of victims. And unless you can find a way in during the day, you may have to wait until night to get into the factory itself. Should you need anything, contact me, and remember, stay safe. And as you guys look over your folders, you see those names, you see a map to, which you guys all know, but it's still just information provided. It's just full of everything that that Candela currently knows about this situation. And yeah. So unless there's anything else you guys want to say, we will head over to the morgue. Is there any other questions for Vince?
So it seems like the main reason we're being brought into this is the missing bodies. Couldn't this just be an explosion with charred corpses?
It would seem like that, except the bodies that are missing, some of which that were closer to what seems like the main source of the explosion is understandable, but his body's even further. People who it wouldn't even necessarily seem like they should have died in the explosion. Given some people write it off because they still are trying to remove debris and find their way through, but it just our contact Farah said there seems to be something more at play. That's why the OUP is on scene. I fear that there is bleed at work here, whether there's a thinning or whether there's something else.
What if the question is, did the explosion cause the thinning, or did the thinning cause the explosion? Maybe something in between.
That is something we may have to find out.
How about you, Jezebel? Do you sense any otherworldly forces at play here?
I do. I feel it in my bones. This is
All right.
definitely.
The only force I feel is between you two. Now let's get out of here and get to the morgue.
Preposterous.
No.
This is completely professional, and there's nothing going on. Right, Jezebel?
That's right.
Ridiculous.
Whatever you say. I'm already hesitant to walk out the door and leave you guys behind.
As you guys do exit the chapter house, you hail a carriage and all climb in, as we will pan away from this, back looking over the city, still seeing a pillar of smoke rising from the steel. The city of New Fair is a very beautiful city. It is an up-and-coming. You see new buildings getting mixed in with older buildings, and just bustling people, just pushing innovation. You're seeing street lamps starting to be put up in areas. You're seeing cars driving on roads that are placed, as well as you look to more of the poorer areas, you see still the olden buildings with the lanterns with candlelight, and you see horse-drawn buggies and dirt and mud roads. And in the distance, you can see some clouds starting to roll in, almost saying that this day has something looming in the future. As we then close in on the New Fair morgue, you see a series of steps that lead up to a large ashen gray building. Two large pillars stand overlooking the dark double doors with large words of the New Fair morgue above it. A few people are entering and leaving. As you approach, an elderly couple is exiting. Tears are streaming down the woman's face. "Where is she?" the woman says as the man grabs her shoulders, holding her close. "They are still clearing the rubble," the man solemnly replies. As you guys push past them, they kind of glance over at you guys and then turn and lower their heads. And as you enter in through the double doors, a large hall stretches in front of you. A crowd of people walk in a slow circle as they look into square windows on cylindrical tanks. A desk is directly in front of you, as you walk in, where a clerk is sitting lined by 2 guards. A small queue of people are in front of the desk, waiting to look for their loved ones. Drake, a memory burns into your brain. You remember walking into this building. Everything seemed larger and scarier, being a younger child. You also remember the pain you were feeling as you searched for any sign of your dad after his disappearance. This morgue is a place where people go to find their lost loved ones. It's a place where any unidentified corpse is put out on display to be shown and to be identified. You jolt back to reality, feeling a shiver run down your spine. I'm going to have you take a brain mark. If on the right side of your character sheet, you'll color in 1 mark as the stress and remembering the pain of your dad's disappearance and those first couple days of looking for him fill you and cause some stress on your brain. You all notice Drake kind of shiver a little bit as you walk into this building.
It's not often, Drake, that you're the one who's quivering in the corner. You're usually the one making other people quiver. What's wrong with you, boy?
Are you okay?
Listen here, old man. You don't know what I've been through.
Nor do I care.
Calm
I'm
down,
okay,
guys.
Jezebel. Thanks for asking. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let's just get this place over with and ask what we need to find.
As you guys
All right.
walk past the front desk, unless you're wanting to ask any questions, you can just bypass into the hall.
How many bodies have been uncovered?
You asking this to one of the guards or the clerk?
Yes. Whoever looks most official in charge around here.
The clerk who's currently helping the people in the line seems busy at the time as you walk up and say this, but the guard who's kind of standing there leaning against it, seeming like bored out of his mind at this job, just kind of says, I mean, if you're talking about from the explosion, I think there's only like 1 or 2. After that, we had 1 person that got washed up out on the banks in the harbor. And other than that, we just have a couple stiffs that have been around here for a while.
Understood. In what condition are the bodies from the explosion?
Yeah, they look like they were in an explosion.
Titillating conversation.
He seems fully uninterested in this job. He probably hasn't even seen the bodies. He just kind of seems like he's just trying to be official.
Well, continue with your mind-numbing work, sir.
This guy's a waste of time. I push through the crowd and go to the front of the line and ask the clerk if she knows anything. What caused this explosion?
Sir, there's a line here, but I don't know. I don't work out there. I just work here. I just take in the bodies. We have 2 bodies from the explosion. They're on the furthest right tanks over there. If you need to look for someone, go over there. And kind of waves you on and then turns back to the person that she was helping.
Well, even though you're bald-headed, at least we got the information we needed.
I have no time.
Were these 2 bodies unidentified?
Yes. All the bodies that are here in
Okay.
the morgue are unidentified.
Okay.
I say we
as
go
you guys-
investigate.
As you guys start, it is a queue that walks in a circle that leads around, where you have to make your way across all of the tanks before you get to the side that you guys are trying to get to. And as you approach the first tank, you look in through the window and you see the face of an elderly woman. The face is gaunt and sunken in the eyes. The eyes are closed with the slightest of makeup messily applied. A black cord pierces the nostrils and the lips, holding them closed. This is a tradition from Old Fair. It is believed that after death, the soul would escape the body through the mouth and nose and be stuck wandering forever until it could find its way back to the body again. Thus, the tradition was started to cover the mouth and nose with both hands, kind of like cupping it over. This then evolved into sewing it closed, for the poor or covering it with an ornate mask for the rich. The sight is unsettling to each of you as to see the body pierced with needles sewn together, a very horrid looking picture. How do you all deal with the sight of this, and what enters your minds?
I don't know why they do this. What do they think? This there could be no life after this. This isn't gonna be stopping anything. Let the bodies rest in peace.
This does not bother me at all. I like the morbid, so I'm used to it.
Very nice.
I am very intrigued by the specific technique used to close the mouth, to close the body. I almost don't even really care that it is a body, more about the academics behind it. But I am curious, and I look over to Jezebel and say, well, is it true, Jezebel? Does the soul escape the body after death? Can you tell?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes the soul does escape the body.
So if
feel-
Drake over here were...
I feel like.
Fair enough. So if Drake over here were to die, unexplained circumstances, would we sew his mouth shut?
You better damn well not touch my body after I die.
Drake, I want you to make a focus roll, and Jezebel, if you'll make a sense roll, and Clyde, if you will make a survey roll. So, just a reminder, since this is the first rolls of the game, you'll look at your trait. However many circles you have filled in on that is how many d6s you roll. This is a low stakes roll. Well, actually, I won't say that. This is a mid stakes roll. On a failure, you could take some mental damage from being disturbed by this a little bit. On a mixed success, you'll probably be fine, but just maybe a little shaken. And on a full success, you're fine. Now, a full success is a 6, mixed success is a 5 or 4, fail is 1, 2, 3. If you wish to spend a drive, mark that you're spending a drive, and add a dice to your roll.
And then we pick the highest of
Yes.
if we rolled multiple dice.
Yes. Oh, also, if you have the diamond filled in on the left side of whatever I told you to roll, that means it's gilded. So one of your dice, you choose which roll which dice is your gilded dice, and if you take that one, you restore 1 drive in the action that you were using. So if I was rolling a sense roll and I got a gilded 5 on it and I took that roll, then I would get 1 drive back in intuition.
What roll did you tell me to roll again? Sorry.
A sense roll.
Oh, okay. So that one is gilded for me. So.
Okay. So just make sure when you roll one of the times, just make sure you can say this one is my gilded roll, and then you can choose to take that even if it's not the highest. If you would want to return a drive, since we haven't used any drives yet, you probably don't need to.
Okay.
But
Which one was my roll?
you are doing a focus roll.
Did I roll 2?
Okay.
So unless you guys think that there's something else that fits better, I'm
Yeah.
saying this mostly in the terms of,
Okay.
it seemed like Drake, you wanted to kind of focus on, why do they do this? Kind of like analyzing it, being like, I don't understand this. Clyde, you were interested looking at how it was done. That's why I said a survey, to kind of look at it and take it in. Since Jezebel, since this is something that you feel like you know a bit about, and you can feel this otherworldly phenomenon.
All right, I have a 5. Not
Mixed
guilty.
success. So as you lean in and you look close at the stitching and see how they seem to have closed it so tightly, and it kind of is pulling the skin. And as you're leaning in close, you swear you almost see the mouth open, just the slightest of bits. You kind of recoil a little bit, but it's just a little
Anyone else
unnerving,
see
but
that?
you're okay.
See what?
Slight movement in the body. Must be maybe some
Just your old
Post-mortem.
mind.
twitching. I did not envision that, boy.
Your monocle is not working.
Foggy.
Yeah, that's probably true. I will clean it. I take it off and I use my tweed jacket to wipe it a bit.
Very nice. Love it.
Let me
All
help
right.
you.
What did
I rolled
Drake
a
and
5.
Jezebel? A 5
So I
is your
roll-
success.
The focus has one circle.
Okay,
Is
so you
there-
roll
I
one
just-
dice. Yep.
Okay.
Just take whatever you get.
How many? Is
And then
this
you-
a six-sided die?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
six
I'm
sided.
on rolladie.net. I just roll it.
Yeah, I'm on the same.
All right, looks like I got a 5.
All 5s. Wow.
Wow.
Weird.
Drake, as you are kind of trying to brush this off, being like, I don't understand this. I don't get it. You just turn away from the pod, and you just feel the slightest of
Bye. Also-
of air just brush down, and it sends a shiver down your spine once again, almost feeling like a breath, and just a little bit of a shiver, disconcerting, but you're fine. And Jezebel,
I actually only
you-
rolled a 4. Sorry.
A
It
4.
was.
still a
I
mixed
rolled
success.
2. But,
Yeah,
okay.
still a mixed success, so you're good. You kind of are standing there, not too perturbed by it. But just after Clyde talked about seeing a little bit of movement in the mouth, you swear you almost see, at the same time that Drake shivers a little bit, you almost swear you can see, whether it's in your mind's eye or in real life, just the slightest bit of a spirit leaking out of this tube. And then it fades, and everyone is good. All right, and we have you guys continue onward, passing by these tanks, looking for the woman that you came here to find, Cher. Each tank you pass has another corpse of an unidentified individual. Most of them you try and just pass by without having to worry about it too much. You see an older man, you see a middle-aged man. The next one you pass looks as though it may have been the person that they were saying washed up on the shore, as he seems very waterlogged, very bloated. You can almost see at the very top of his collarbone a puncture wound. You then continue forward, and Clyde, you pass one of the tanks, and as you do, you glance over and you see a young boy with dark hair and glasses. You look away, and then you do a double take, and you look back at it again. As something hits you, you walk towards the pod and look in and look closer. And for a second, you are staring at the face, a familiar face. Henry's face.
Henry. This can't be. That was years ago.
And as that you say this and you look down and then you look back up, it's not Henry. The glasses are gone. And it's just a boy sitting there. A young boy, younger than what Henry would have been, with dark, shriveled hair. And
Who's
I
you
grab
feel
my hair and I
pain.
kind of like pull it a little bit and I take off my monocle and kind of try to wipe it off again.
And I'm gonna have you take a brain and a bleed mark. As you are shocked by this that you just saw, but you also have researched bleed. You know that bleed can have this effect.
I think we're definitely onto something. It's a bit disconcerting, but Jezebel, since you're here, I just saw an old colleague of mine that I work with in the war. His name is Henry, but he has been dead for many years. I looked away for a moment, and now it is someone else entirely different.
Oh,
Until
dear.
I'm sure it's just a trick of my mind. I'm sure But I do know in my research that bleed can have this effect on my mind, and I know that I've been affected by it before, so I think we might be onto something. Has anyone else felt anything odd, anything off?
Not more than normal. Are you sure you're okay?
Well, I must say that I'm not used to this experience. I am
Jezebel.
a little
I
taken
mean, I
aback.
usually say that you're crazy, Clyde, but I did feel something earlier. I thought you were breathing down my neck. I turned around and you were away from me. So
Jezebel.
That would have been an enjoyable experience, I'm sure.
Jezebel, I want you to make a read roll as you're trying to gauge what Clyde's kind of body language, what you can pertain from what he's doing. And Drake, since you are also kind of backing this up, you do have the option to help with this roll if you would like, meaning you can spend one of your drives to apply it to her. Now, you don't have to. I just was using this as an opportunity to explain how that works. Since you guys are both here, you're able to help each other in a role like this to provide drives. Now, this is a very low stakes role, as in if you fail, it's not like no harm is going to come to you. You just won't be able to maybe discern as much.
I only rolled a 2.
Okay, so that is a fail. But as you're looking at him, as you had said, are you okay? Like you seem almost more worried about his mental state. You think back to your last assignment, losing a member of your circle, and wondering if maybe you guys are jumping back into an assignment too quickly. But maybe there is something going on here. You're unsure. You're unsure of where Clyde's mental is at.
Just pat him on the back. Say, we'll figure this out.
Oh,
come
glad
on,
you're
Clyde,
here, Jezebel.
You've seen worse. We can do this. Needs to be done.
Agreed. I'm sure this is nothing more that couldn't be explained logically away.
And as you continue on, you then reach the last 2 containers that the clerk had said were the 2 that came from the rubble. You look into the first one and you see a woman with long black hair. It seems singed at the bottom of it. It looks as though they've tried to clean her off a little bit, but there's dirt, there's grime, as the ash and the rubble obviously fell over this body. It also looks as though the shoulder has been dislocated and is kind of haphazardly put back into place, as it still looks inflamed. Maybe that it inflamed before she passed. Maybe it wasn't an instant death. And I will have one of you guys, just to show how this works, I'll let one of you guys pull out a bleed. Oh crap, what's it called? It should be on your
Containment?
yeah. No.
Bleed containment
Bleed
vial?
detector.
Yes, a bleed detector.
Oh, there.
Now this takes on different items. It looks different for every person. Everyone has their own personalized bleed identifier, or what is it called again? Sorry.
Detector.
Bleed detector. That's the word. So if you guys all want to describe what your personal bleed detectors look like, we'll start with you, Drake.
I
It
have
can be
one
literally
thing.
anything.
I have one thing from my father. It was just a kind of like a pendant necklace thing with a symbol I don't quite understand, but I keep it around with me. I don't really wear it, but I keep it with me.
I love it. Very nice. Jezebel, what do you have?
Necklace. It's a silver chain with a pendant, and I hold it, and I can tell.
Surprised is it isn't chicken bones.
There probably is a chicken bone inside of the pendant.
The pendant of the
Some
tiniest little chicken
ground.
bone. All All right, Clyde, what does yours look like?
Mine would be a metal ball that's mostly see-through, and it has 3 metal rings on the inside. Each one's smaller than the last, and they all spin. If there's bleed nearby, they'll begin to slowly spin based on the intensity. Kind of like one of those globes that has like the mini rotating metal rings inside. So I can take that out and then it'll move based on how intense the bleed is.
Very nice. Now I will, just so I can show how this works, I'll have one of you guys mark this, which whoever wants to take it. I won't have you all mark it just so that you don't use all of your items. But just to show this. All right. So Jezebel, if you'll mark on your sheet that you have your bleed detector out. So you grab this pendant on your necklace, and as you approach these bodies, you start to search for bleed, and as you said, your sense starts to fill, and you can feel bleed emanating from these bodies. Now, one thing you know, when bleed is around, whether it is the source of the bleed, or it's just a remnant of the bleed, it still has negative effects on anyone who is close, especially close for long periods of time. And as you turn and you look towards the furthest pod, you see a woman very similar to the one that you see inside this pod, except this woman has blonde hair. You guys would recognize the description that this would be Cher Crinan. And you see her, she's also very dirty, looks like she was in this explosion as well, and she's crying. She's standing just off to the side of the pod, not looking into the closest one, but is there crying. And as you guys walk forward, you just glance into this other pod, and the body is near unidentifiable. The features have been crushed. They have tried to reform the face, but there's just not much left of it. The one thing you can tell is it does look like another woman, which means this would not be Cher's husband. But she obviously is still looking and missing and cannot find. And the desperation and fear you can see in the form of her tears and her sobbing as you walk towards her. How would you guys like to approach this investigation with her?
Cher, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
She kind of glances
Hope you're
up.
okay.
Who are you?
We're part of an organization just to go around and figure out what exactly happened. Is there anything you can tell us that could help us?
I've already talked to so many people. The periphery, the OUP.
We're here to
I
help.
just want to find him.
Is there something that you might have not thought to mention? Something that might think to yourself that you didn't see it, that you're crazy?
I mean, I didn't see much. I was talking to Edward, and he was saying he was going to go to the forge to go and he's a bit of a supervisor in the factory. He was going to go make sure things were going well. We've had a couple weird things going on over there the last couple days, just the forge acting up. But I said okay. I turned away. I was walking towards the exit. I did notice a man that I did not recognize. He kind of put on a hood and had a kind of large backpack, walk out just before the explosion happened. I was blasted into the door and fell out, and if it weren't for that, I think I would have been crushed. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to Edward.
Don't you worry, we've gotten a lot of information, thank you. We'll try to find Edward.
We heard you say that there was something out of place at the factory. Could you tell us what that was? Or was it just this man? Or was there more?
I mean, there was just a man leaving. I don't know. He could have been could have been there on business. I don't know. I don't know what goes on above. A lot of people come and go, but it's just weird. His backpack was so large and had weird like metal canisters on him. I don't know. It just seemed weird. But in the factory, I don't know. It's nothing too crazy, but it just seemed like the forge was hotter than usual. It was having more of an effect on the metal we were working with, and I'm not sure what was going on. And then we had people calling out sick or not coming back into work the next day who were working around that forge. It was like they were, I don't know, there was chemicals in it or something. It just didn't make sense. It could have been from anything though. I don't know.
How, first, if Edward, did you find anything to suggest that Edward's body was there?
I tried to go back in, but one of the periphery guards immediately stopped me and was telling me it wasn't safe. I haven't even been able to look. I just want him to look.
Well, until you have proof that he is gone, there is always still hope. Now, for both the forge as well as the factory security, are the processes of what goes into the forge solidified and written, as well as who can come and go to the factory?
There is a log of everyone who enters and exits. It's supposed to be filled out. Our front desk, I mean, we don't have really a front desk, but the woman who does that, she's an old woman by the name of Wilma, and her husband Ivan was he was the main boss, like owns the whole factory. Their last name's Anderson, though. It's what it's named after. And they do have lots of processes, I know. Edward would talk about it every once in a while, but it wasn't my job, so I'm not sure. I was just the pay lady.
Well, I think we've gotten a lot of what we needed. Thank you. We'll try to figure out more. I'll get back to you if I find
course.
Edward.
Yeah, sure. We will either find Edward, or we will tell you what happened. That I swear.
She starts coughing, and the coughing pulls deeper as she then kind of gags, lurches, and then spits out. And I want one of you can choose who wants to do it, to make a focus roll, and any of you can aid. It is a kind of medium stakes roll, meaning on a failure you could take something negative. On a mixed success, may have some negative effects.
I could do this roll.
I don't have any of my focus dots.
I said I do have two, and
So
I can have
if you want to assist with it, I believe focus is in cunning, right? Or is
Intuition.
it-
intuition.
Oh, it's intuition. Okay. So if you have any intuition drives, you can use them to aid, to add a dice. But
Oh. You have two though?
I do have two.
Okay.
And if I did a drive, and I also, because that's one of my gilded rolls, and I get, if I do a drive and I use the gilded one, would that drive be immediately brought back?
yeah.
Okay, so I'll roll 3 dice for this.
Perfect.
All right, rolling. I'll have my rightmost one just so. With my gilded. Okay, it is not my gilded, but I did get a 6.
Perfect.
Paste it in Discord just for proof.
Oh, I trust you. It's okay. uh, as you see her lurching and she starts to spit out, you put out your hands and you push Drake and Jezebel back. Is something that you recognize, but in her spit you see just the slightest bit of this bluish green essence, and you see it almost glisten for a second in the spit before it disappears, as you would notice this as bleed starting to infect her.
How long have you been feeling this way, Cher? Did you have a cold before the explosion, or is this all right after?
I started to feel a little sick this morning. To be honest, it's gotten worse as I've been here waiting to see if his body's brought in. They keep
For anyone.
saying if any more come in, they're gonna put him in this pod. She gestures to like an empty pod behind her as she's standing in between that closest pod and the next one.
Did the people who called in sick, did they tell you their symptoms by chance?
No, they just sent a letter with a postboy to just said that they were feeling under the weather and wouldn't be at work, and we got like 3 of those, and then we had another 3 people who just didn't show up at all and didn't send anything.
Okay, well, we definitely need you to stay healthy, Cher. So, going to need you to, let's see if we can get you a place where you can sit. And then I go over to Jezebel and I kind of whisper in her ear, like, I believe that she is inflicted with the bleed. If you'd want to check with your pendant, see if there's a larger source of bleed in the area that's making her worse.
Yes. So I grab my pendant and it heats up.
Yeah,
And I
and so
can feel
I'll have you make a sense roll
Okay.
as you are using this pendant. And also this is a high stakes roll because you do have to get close to the bleed and to make sure you don't get too close. So on a failure you will take bleed, and on a full success you won't.
Okay. I'll do a gilded. A sense roll. Okay. All right.
So your sense is filled in on the left?
Yeah,
So-
to
Just
gild it.
gilded
Yeah.
incense.
Okay, so to roll 3 dice, you'd actually do a drive. So that's one of the...
Oh, okay. I'll do that
Yep.
then.
So you'll do 3 dice, and then one of them... Do you just want to do like the rightmost dice?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you'll do the 3 dice. The rightmost will be gilded. That way, if the right dice is the one you choose, then you would get that drive back.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that is not good.
What did you get?
1, 2, 1.
I'll go with the
Oh,
2, I
boy.
suppose.
Alright. Now you do have I don't know if you do, but if you have a resistance, you are able to use a
do.
resistance to re-roll if you want.
I will use that.
It's up to you,
Absolutely.
because this is another thing just to keep in mind. These things don't necessarily come back in between episodes. It depends. You guys will get to choose
Oh.
if you take refreshes or if you don't. So you want to use these strategically, and taking 1 bleed isn't necessarily a terrible thing. It just is bad once you get up to like 3, and then you might take a scar if you take a 4th. So it's up to you. You can fully use it and re-roll. If you think you won't have to re-roll anything for the rest of the time, that's fine. But fully up to you.
That's hard. I'll save it. Well, shoot. I think I'll save it, and I'll take the bleed.
All right. So as you approach her and you feel the pendant warming up in your hand, and you start to feel like I've come too close. And now I'll give you this moment. Everyone kind of feels bleed in a different way. Some people, it might be a headache. Some people, it might be a numbness in their arm or fogging of the eyesight or something. So how does bleed look for her? How does it affect her?
She it goes dark. I can't see all of a sudden, and I almost feel like numb and sick to my stomach.
Yeah, you kind of lurch forward a little bit as you know that she has bleed, and she has bleed all over her, and you pull back as you start to feel this, and as your eyesight is black, you hear just a whisper in the back of your brain of a familiar voice, the voice of your grandma. And you step back and your vision returns. I will have you take a bleed mark. So on the right side of your sheet, you'll fill in one bleed mark. And you all see her as she steps forward and kind of lurches, grabbing her stomach, and then steps back and kind of catches her breath.
Jezebel, are you okay? What happened?
Oh no. Bleed.
Where's the source? Can we get Cher away from it?
I believe it might be Cher. Or it's all over. I'm sensing it. It's all over.
You definitely got the feeling. It's on her. It's also feels like it's coming from these pods as well. It is. Seems like this explosion, as you guys were thinking, this explosion definitely is bleed infested. And so the bodies are tainted. While they may not be the full source of the bleed, they are emanating bleed.
Could I do like a knowledge check to know if anyone has ever recovered from bleed exposure before?
Of course. This will be a focus roll to remember your research, to remember what you have done, or the other occurrences of bleed that you've seen.
Okay. To roll 2. Right one will be gilded. Use my gilded dice, which is a 3.
Okay. So you recover that drive. And you don't really remember too much. You're kind of, with everything that just happened, being on a new assignment, seeing Edward for that second, is you're finding it hard to bring it back to your brain. Is you seem to remember that removal from the exposure certainly slows if they have, or slows the effect of bleed if they've already become contaminated. It also can fully stop if they haven't been around it for too long. But generally, removal you seem to remember that being the case.
All right. Well, if these pods are all infected with the bleed, as well as Cher, I believe you have been exposed to bleed. I believe that is why some of your workers have been sick. I believe that is why you're not feeling well. That is why you are not getting any better and feeling worse in this area. I think we need to get you out of this building, or at least to another room, just to improve your current condition.
What is bleed?
Well,
what are you talking about? You remember,
These
things aren't known to the public. If they have never been experienced or exposed to it, they don't even know what it is.
Yes. So, in other words, there was something off with your forge. We believe that it was radiating a sense of a force or a chemical, somewhat of an infection of sickness. Something that we believe, if as long as you stay away from the source, you will feel better. But I think that is overall why you are feeling worse right now. So if we can move you to a different area, away from these pods, and then I'll make sure that as we investigate Edward, that we'll come back with all the information possible. We just need to make sure that you are healthy when Edward returns, or when we bring news.
All
And
right,
then I start leading her to a different section.
So as you go to lead her, are you leading from a distance? Are you leading close? Are you potentially risking exposure to the bleed, or are you kind of trying to usher her away?
I will do usher.
Okay. I will have you make a sway roll to convince her. And any of you can assist if you would so like.
It's my worst.
I can do 3 dice. So 1 drive, and it's gilded, so let's try it out.
Very nice.
Alright, it's gilded. Not gilded, but I got a 5.
All right, a mixed success. So as you kind of usher her over, she does start to walk towards you guys, and you kind of try and keep your distance away a little bit, and she just is stumbling a little bit. It definitely feels more that the stumbling probably isn't really coming from the bleed, but it's probably coming from the fact she was in an explosion. But she slowly makes her way over. She's like, yeah, you're talking about like sickness? Are you saying these bodies are sick? Should people be around them? What?
We'll make sure to tell the authorities what we found. Don't worry about it now. Well, we just want to make sure that you are taken care of, that you're safe, that you can feel better. You know, these type of things can happen with explosions, so we just want to make sure that overall you're feeling better, you're feeling stronger. That way you can support Edward. We find him and he's injured. If both of you are sick, you won't be able to take care of him, so do your best to feel better. We'll make sure the rest is taken care of. You can trust us.
Okay. Is there anything I need to do? And anything?
No.
Just need to go home.
The main thing is
rest?
just making sure that you stay away from anything that was a part of the explosion. So anything that ultimately stay away from those materials, any of the bodies or the pods. And yes, if going home and resting might be your best course of action.
I understand. As she passes beyond you and starts towards the doors. Thank you, and please find him.
We will.
She exits through the doors. As you guys are left in the morgue, a couple people kind of looking on, like, what is going on with that lady? Like, what? Do also another thing that I want to point out to you. You have these things called bleed containment vials. Part of your investigations for Candela is one of the goals is to try, this is on your guys' circle sheet, is to try and recover like evidence or samples of the bleed. So this is another thing, it's up to you guys, but for example, the spit that she just spat out, as you know, was infected with bleed, so you could try and take a sample of that. Or if you are thinking more that you want to try and get a sample at the factory, the main source of it, that is another option. Or if you wanted to try and talk your way into, you know, maybe getting to examine one of these bodies, that would definitely be a riskier option.
And if we fill up a containment vial, I'm guessing we all, or whoever has one, would just have enough for one sample.
Yes, so you can all take one sample, and then at the end of an assignment, you guys will go through and you'll if you've achieved things, you'll progress as a circle, which will help you to level up and kind of gain more things, more tools to use. There's also at the bottom of your character sheet, there's things that as a character, kind of your own personal goals, and I think you're just supposed to try and achieve one of them per assignment, and if all of you do, then you get like 4 points on your progress tracker.
Okay. And I'm guessing the quality of the evidence makes a difference.
It makes a difference for the progression of the assignment, or your guys' overall progress towards your goals. In terms of like actual in-game things, not really. Like you can get any amount and it will still count towards your
Okay.
your progression.
All right, I didn't have a chance to tell you all, but when she coughed and spit flew out of her mouth, I believe there was bleed infected in the spit. I'm gonna go collect a sample. So I will go do that. So I'm gonna go over, get my bleed containment vial, and scoop it in.
All right, I want you to make a control roll as you try and carefully try not to expose yourself to the bleed and get this in efficiently.
Okay. I have 2 of that. That is a 5.
A 5, all right. You managed to collect the sample. As you do, the proximity to it starts to make you feel, and I'll have you take over. What does bleed feel like to Clyde?
For me, it becomes a complete brain fog mixed with. It's almost like I've lost control of my body. It's like I feel like my body's moving, but I'm not in control of it. Almost like if you were on like heavy narcotics or pain medications, and then ultimately, yeah, just a complete out of body experience.
Awesome, I love that. You feel that start to take over, but you manage to pull your hand back before that happens, and then you kind of go forward again and finish collecting the sample, as you won't take any bleed, but you felt you were on the verge. It's a little
I hate
disconcerting.
that.
And you collect that, and you return to the group. And what is your guys' plan on what is your next step in the investigation?
We need to stop standing around. We should go to the forge immediately. Try to see a way in for nighttime.
Do you think we could try to go in and see one of these bodies before we go there?
Yeah.
Or
I feel like the direct source is at the forge, but maybe we could try.
Yes. Also, there is let's see. Shara mentioned Wilma was the front desk lady.
Oh.
We could chat with her just to see if she noticed anyone that came in with a large bag.
good idea. Maybe she has more information.
But if you feel there's anything before we leave here, do you think there's anything that we need to look further on the bodies? I do have a single sample of the bleed from the spit from Cher.
Sounds like it's enough to me, but
Now, the question is, do we want to stop the spread of other people getting infected? Should we tell whoever's in charge in this facility? Do you think they'll just think we're crazy?
I don't think we should bother, but I want to find the source before it's too late, before it disappears.
Very well, time may be of the essence. Jezebel, your thoughts?
Let's go. Let's go to the factory.
Perfect. Now, Jezebel, I'd like you to check to make sure that I stored the saliva correctly.
And he produces this vial of spit, and as you kind of take it, Jezebel, and you hold it up to the incoming light from the windows, as you kind of hold it up and swirl around a little bit, you do see the little flicker of the blue-green coloring that you would know as bleed. And it does seem as though he did collect a sample.
Yep. I definitely see some bleed in this vial. Good job.
well, thank you, Jezebel.
I'm surprised myself that Clyde was able to get it in there.
Hubbub. I just want to make sure. I mean, we all had a little bit of a weird experience, and I know the bleed can affect us differently. Had to make sure that it was an actual sample and I didn't envision it.
The only
All right,
thing
I
I'm worried
say-
about is finding my father.
Yes. Whatever. Your personal vendettas.
Yeah, you've
Ah,
lived
we-
your life, old man.
Oh, man. I'm in my prime. Thank you very much. I say we find Wilma before you and I have fisticuffs in the street.
All
I
right.
wouldn't want to embarrass you. Let's go find Wilma and Ivan. And
All right.
see.
And are you guys looking for them at the factory or around the factory? Are you going to go and try and get sources? We'll kind of skip through this part, but I just want to know what direction you guys are going to try and find them.
Maybe try to find some people around the factory and ask them their whereabouts.
Yeah, let's go to
Is
the
the-
factory. See.
Is there any of the two organizations? What is it? The
OUP,
OUP, and then the starts with a
Periphery.
P. Periphery. I'm gonna write that down. Do we see any
They are-
members
if you look
around
in
the
the-
factory, or
if you look in
outside as we're
the-
leaving?
If you look in the TTRPG chat, you scroll up a little bit. I do have their icons, and then there's like a brief little thing about each of them.
Oh,
OUP is the
perfect.
very first one. Periphery is a little bit lower. But yeah, Periphery is just the police force. OUP is a section of the police force that is specific for unexplained phenomena. So, but yeah, so you guys take off again as we pan up, seeing you guys directly below us walking down the steps of the morgue, as once again our camera moves and we zoom across the city, closer into what now is the dissipating smoke, as it seems like it is starting to end as we close in on the factory. And as we get our first look, we see a factory blown to smithereens on the north side of it. The south side seems completely intact. It seems like it was a localized explosion. There are bits of wall, bits of pipes and metal, shrapnel, all blasted out the north side, as well as the building next to it being completely like smashed in from where that explosion came from. As you guys approach this, we see you walking in, and you see a circle of guards, periphery, standing there. Kind of, there's quite a few townspeople or city people trying to kind of get a look in, trying to see what is going on. You see a couple reporters. Drake, you would maybe recognize a couple of them from the Halen Star and from your rivals, that are trying to get a story, trying to figure out what's going on here. You do see that they're keeping people away, and as you look in and closer towards the factory, you see some other members. They're in more normal clothes, but they got some jackets on that have a writing on the back of it that has the symbol of the OUP, as they seem to be looking around the factory itself. All right, how do you guys want to approach this?
I'm gonna try to approach my fellow co-workers at the Haven Star, see if they know anything, as
I
they
see.
arrived earlier.
You approach. There's one man, one woman, both kind of seeming like they're gonna work together. You would perhaps recognize them. I will let you kind of have a little bit of discretion here. Do you want it to be somebody that you are close with, or is it just a
It
coworker?
could just be like fellow co-workers. We know each other.
All right. We'll say, so we have, as you walk closer, you recognize them. The man being by the name of Sam, and the woman being by the name of Felicia. And you walk up and They both look over to you and nod in realizing who you are, and a recognition. That's the word I was looking for. As you walk in, they say, Sam says, "You're looking for a story here too."
Absolutely, you know me, I'm always on top of things. Have you talked to anyone? I don't want to waste my time here. Is there anyone, any information you can give me?
Yeah, these guards are being tight-lipped. I don't see any of my favorites, my regulars that I'm able to usually get some information out of. So it's been hard to get anything out of them. All we know is just the obvious, man. They just told us there's a blast out the north side. They don't know what caused it, and as we've heard that there's something strange. It seems like a lot of the victims' families are here. Some of them are confused why they haven't been given the bodies of their people. They just seem like they're not there. But yeah, they're not letting anyone in. You got the OUP in there, so obviously something funky's going on. And then Felicia kind of chimes in. Yeah, and they seem to be keeping their distance a little bit. It seems like we saw one person very early on who seemed to be in there for a little while come out kind of coughing and spitting. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe there's something infectious in there or some chemicals or something. Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Of course. Best of luck with your investigation.
You as well. I'll be sure to reach out. See you, Sam.
We'll see you, Drake. And they turn back, kind of trying to peek around. They're moving towards like the left side of the crowd and trying to kind of peek in through the main front entrance. And the crowd, you can just hear people kind of murmuring and gossiping as Clyde and Jezebel, as you guys are waiting there a little bit behind Drake. You just hear some saying, "I heard that it was on purpose. Somebody threw a bomb in there. I heard that." And you hear another person saying, responding back, "I heard that they were making something other than pipes in there, and it was using some chemicals and it's just like all the gossip and rumors that are starting to flood around, as when there isn't a story or when there isn't official statements made, assumptions are made or other, considerations are taken. What is you guys' next step?
Only these people really knew what was going on. They wouldn't be hanging around here, that's for sure.
The whole town would be in a panic, Clyde.
None of them would believe it. But, did you get any new information from your reporter friends? Your other scumbags?
No, but Felicia's looking mighty fine as ever. But,
yes. That's something we can agree on.
I just said the policemen are, they seem like they know something is fishy going on. They're keeping their distance, but they don't really know the details of what's going on.
I say
Some people in the crowd might think that there was a bomb that was thrown in there intentionally, but I don't really trust them. So many rumors can be made from anyone.
Yes, we did hear that in the crowd as well. Well, maybe we can ask a member of the OUP, see if they'll be a little more loose-lipped with us. We look around, is there any members of the OUP that we recognize? Are they all strangers?
Yeah, so as you guys are kind of standing there looking around, you do see one woman, very tall, very official looking, with black hair that's pulled back into a braid. And you would recognize her as Candela's informant inside the OUP by the name of Farah. She was mentioned in the briefing as the one who kind of contacted you guys saying, hey, I think you guys should check this out. You do see her, and you would know that it's pretty frowned upon for members of the OUP to kind kind of connect with Candela. You're kind of at odds with each other. But sometimes you guys have been known to work together. It's not like you guys are rivals or enemies, but it's just kind of like OUP's like, hey, let us do our work kind of thing.
I motion to her to meet us around the corner.
Are you trying to do this sneakily?
Yes.
All right, I will have you make a hide roll to try and sneakily kind of catch her eye and make a motion.
Okay.
Any of you are willing to help, you could try and make like a little distraction or something, or try and pull a little bit of attention maybe away. Fully up to you if you wanted to supply some drive in some way of doing that.
We have one die for this.
You have 1 die?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do a drive, and I'm going to start picking a fight with Drake to cause a little bit of a scene.
I love it.
No, you fool! It can't be a bomb thrown in! It must be the chemicals! They must be doing something in this factory that is against the law and is against the Academy!
Shut up, you old man, Clyde. I don't want to hear it any further. I've told you, these rumors aren't true.
Oh, yes, the media, always hiding everything, not telling the truth. Well, I'm here to find the truth, Drake, and I will make sure that it's done. And I push my finger into his shoulder and push him back a few inches.
All right, for how beautiful that is, I want you to add another dice to your roll, Jezebel.
All right. I did roll a 5, but
Very nice.
ignoring that.
And as you guys are doing this, people are starting to turn and look like, oh, geez, I didn't know it was this serious. Like, man. And then like some of the victims are kind of looking a little horrified. Not sure what to believe or what's going on. And some of the officers start to push their way towards you. Hey, what's going on over here? And you see some of the OUP turning. And as they turn and you see Farah turn, Jezebel, how are you getting her attention?
I just like motion with my head, like, come on, let's go over here, you know. And then catch her eye, make her eye contact, and then walk around the corner.
All right, you see her eyes fall upon you, and she sees it and understands, gives a brief little nod. It does seem as though maybe one or two of her colleagues standing there may have also seen that same thing and kind of are looking at her like, what's going on? But as of right now, it is successful. It is a mixed success. So the guard walks up. Hey, break it up. We don't need any of this. Go spread your rumors and your fear-mongering elsewhere. And they kind of get between you guys.
Wouldn't have to spread rumors if you'd give us the truth.
I'll tell you this. The investigation is underway. We are working on it. As soon as we have information to share, you'll get it. Now, separate. No more fear-mongering. And he's like pushing you guys away from each other.
We will discuss this further, Drake.
There's nothing else to discuss, Clyde.
Yes,
Then I give him a little wink with my monocle eye.
Very nice.
I can't help but smirk. Or do it.
Wow.
You guys make your way around the corner, following where Jezebel went. And after a moment of you guys sitting in this alleyway, you see Farah round the corner and steps towards you guys. Oh, it's good to see that Candela sent people. Is there anything that you guys have learned so far?
We did go to the morgue, and we did see some of the few bodies that were there. We also saw, I believe, one of the women that were in the explosion share, and we definitely have identified that bleed was involved. That there corpses as well as Chair herself had been exposed.
Oh, that is troublesome to hear. I will send someone over there to make sure those bodies are quarantined away. Don't want that to be spreading too much. Thank you for that.
Yes, we also sent Cher home to get some rest, hopefully removing her from some sources of bleed to help her recover. So you can keep an eye on her as well.
Oh, that is good to hear. Good to hear. Did she see anything? Do you know? Did she have any more information? When she talked to us, she was pretty broken up. She couldn't really tell us much.
She did say that she saw a strange man with a hood and a backpack walk out right before the explosion happened.
That is quite disconcerting. A man she hasn't seen before.
That's right.
Yeah, she said the backpack was larger than a normal backpack, and had some metal canisters on them.
You say metal canisters?
That's right.
We
Very
did-
large.
We did seem to find some. What seemed like a broken, maybe metal canister that could match that description. It seemed kind of relatively close to where we think the blast happened. That should be definitely something we need to look into.
Mm.
What do you need from me?
Well, for one, we did want to check with Wilma, especially for the log of who's come and gone today, just to see if any names are unusual, maybe not staff members, or if she's seen anyone with a large pack. As well as, at some point, we want to get in here and investigate. So, if you know a time when no one will be around and we can sneak in, would prefer that.
She kind of glances around and she's like, I don't know with how big this explosion is and how much it has shaken the people. I'm not sure I can get you guys in. I would say when night falls, most of our guards will leave. It would be the best time for you to get in, and I could help with that. As for Wilma, she left the book with us. We have the book. I've gone over it. I didn't seem to see anything out of the ordinary. She didn't say there was anyone out of the ordinary. She has returned back to her home, as well as Ivan. If you want, you can go speak with her. Otherwise, and she kind of looks up, and as she does, you do see clouds starting to roll in. She's like, it is approaching nightfall. She kind of pulls out a pocket watch for a second. I think that we should be wrapping up here shortly. We'll give a brief explanation of what we think or where the investigation is at to the public, and then we should close up for the night. Do you think you'll stick around here, or will you go see Wilma?
I think we have time to go see Wilma. Group agrees.
Back at night. What else can you tell us about this?
Yes, we have spilled our beans, if you want to spill yours.
Yes, we're quite dumbfounded by the lack of bodies. I don't understand. Usually when you go into an explosion like this, whether it's pieces or charred remains, you find remains. It's obvious that there was people there. But we haven't found almost any. There was a couple that were around the outside of the building. But as for anyone that was near or should have been near the blast, they just seem to be gone. We did find, like I said, that canister that does seem out of place, as well as we're still working on removing some larger rubble. I will say I did see a path I feel like you could go down. It may just be a little bit precarious. I would hope that you would take some care with that, but it would get you closer to the explosion point. Just go with caution, because as you know and as I know, we could be dealing with something much larger here.
Thank you for the information. We'll definitely keep that in our cautionary actions.
Very well. And she pulls out a little notepad and a pencil and writes down the address for Wilma and hands it to you. This is where Ivan and Wilma reside. And I will meet you guys back here in this alley after dark to help you get into the factory.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Very well. Tread safe. She turns and walks back towards the factory. And if there's anything you guys want to say, or are you guys just heading out to Wilma?
Well, it seems like the OUP is as useless as ever. All they've found is... We haven't even been in there and we know more.
No surprise to me. I say Wilma's our best bet.
Agreed.
Wilma.
Is there any photos you think you should be taking there, Drake? You're just gonna carry that camera around like a fool.
I forgot I had my camera in my bag. Because I haven't decided which one I want to use yet.
Well, just make sure I'm not in any of those pictures of yours. We all know how that turns out.
I don't know if there's anything worthy of pictures. Okay, let the journalist do the work, Clyde.
Journalist. I start mumbling as I walk off.
Very nice. So you guys will once again cut away from... We'll see a frame of you all, the backs of you, leaving out of this alley as you guys are silhouetted by the light cast down the street of the setting sun, as well as... It's not getting quite to sunset, but closer. And as these clouds roll over and you hear the distant rumble of thunder, as we cut away to you guys approaching this very nice manor. It has a large gate in front of it, and it's very kind of an old-fashioned looking manor. It's been around for a while. You guys would probably know that the Anderson family, who owns this factory, has owned it for quite some time. And during the war, they came into a lot of money as they helped create, barrels of weapons and other things military-minded. So they are a well-off family, and they have been for quite some time. As you guys approach, the gate is unlocked. There's a couple lights on in the manor. You can see a couple people, a couple shadows passing by one of the windows as you approach, and the clouds have fully covered the sky now as it grows darker.
Oh, Jezebel, I do love an overcast evening.
As do I, Clyde. As do I.
Not for any reason in particular. This house, though, is very gaudy, too large for me. I prefer, the hollow, back where my books are.
As the hollow is more of a home to Clyde than his actual residence. You guys approach the door, and you give a knock on it, and after a moment it opens as a very fine put together butler stands there in a nice suit and with a full on towel over the arm, and looks out towards you. Yes, how can I serve you?
We we are wondering if we could. We're friends of Wilma and Ivan. We heard they had a rough day, so we would like to just wish them well.
Friends, you say? Can I give them a name to
Oh dear.
talk to?
Uh,
Make
We all
a
just-
sway roll to see how well you're able to deceive him.
okay.
If you would like.
I'll make a sway roll. Ooh.
Because you on a success, you may not give a name and just say, "Oh, we were friends with them from this or this," or "We know some of their family," or something along those lines. It may not
you
be
ever-
that you have to give them a specific name.
Did you ever, I whisper in Jezebel's ear, did you ever do a reading for Wilma or her family, by chance?
We have.
That could definitely be.
I have done a reading for her.
Oh, women. So superstitious.
No.
All right,
She
make
had me
your read roll. Knowing that you have an inn now.
Okay. Read roll. So I'm gonna do.
Or sorry, not a read roll. Sorry, a sway roll.
Oh, sway. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sorry.
That's only one for me.
I will do a drive then.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Extra
You,
dice.
reminded her of the read.
Yeah. True. Ooh, I got a 6.
6. Very
For
nice.
that.
That is a success. Full success.
Nice.
All right. If you ever roll, by the way, if you roll 2 6s, that is a critical success. Just so you know. He nods and says, "Very well. You may enter. Just stay here in the lobby. I will go and retrieve her." And he lets you all in and shuts the door behind you, and then turns and walks. And as you guys walk in, it is a very nice manner, as you would think on the outside. It is reflected on the inside as well. There's tapestries and a couple large pictures, which are very uncommon, especially in the large fashion. There's a very nice painting of both Wilma and Ivan, and as well as 2 of their young children. And it does look as though it is a little bit dated, as you guys have heard and maybe have known, especially I guess you, Jezebel, for giving Wilma a reading. She definitely looks younger in this painting, but they look like a happy family. And as you look around, you take in this as you hear the footsteps approach, and you see an older woman. She has her hair done up in a nice bun at the back of her head. Her face looks as though you couldn't even tell that she was in any way a part of an explosion. It seems as though she has come home and cleaned up and composed herself, as she walks in and glances down at you and nods in recognition. Jezebel. What can I do for you?
Wilma, I heard that you have had a rough day, and we came to see how you were doing.
Oh, it's been horrible, but thank you. I appreciate your consideration. Not only on a personal stance, but also for business stance. It's gonna be quite hard to recover from this. But yes, we are doing okay, all things considered. Ivan is just tending to some minor injuries. We were on the south side of the building, which means we were the furthest from the blast that we could have been. But yes, I do appreciate your consideration. She gives you a very grandmotherly looking smile, and it would kind of bring you a little bit more comfort, Jezebel, as it reminds you of your own grandma who passed some time ago.
I put my hand on her shoulder and smile at her, and then I I want to know, like, did you do you know what happened, or did you have any other information?
Just they haven't told us a whole lot, but day started like any other. I was up taking in clearing out the log from the day before and preparing a new one. We had an early meeting with Donner, who is one of our suppliers of our iron and metal. He met with Ivan up in the office. He had been gone for about an hour or two when, we heard some strange kind of call-outs. I wasn't necessarily yelling like there was something wrong, but just trying to get the attention of someone. And then boom. And we got out of there as fast as we could and recovered what books and ledgers we had. The safe, we had to leave. A couple of our filing cabinets got destroyed. But, I mean, we were lucky to make it out with our lives and mostly uninjured.
I'm glad you made it out okay.
Thank you.
Did you happen to see what happened to any of the people that were in there?
No, it was quite odd. We did pass by on our way out of the building. Oh, it was horrible. But we did pass by a lady. Her name was Nina. She was a very nice girl, and it was very hard to pass by her. And it looks like she's almost on the verge of tears, but she is a very upper class lady. She is a proper lady. She doesn't want to shed tear in while company is around, and so she's holding herself together. Other than that, we saw one other body that I couldn't even recognize. He was so mangled. It was weird because beyond those two, I didn't see any.
Well, thank you. Can you tell us more about Donner? Is he normally the supplier that your husband uses, or is he somebody new?
Oh yes, Donner has been our supplier since long before the war. Our families have been very close. We always get together around the new year and have a little party together. He came to our daughter's graduation from the college, and just been very, very close and worked well together for many, many years.
I think I know
Today
who
was
he is.
Today is a normal scheduled appointment, nothing out of the ordinary.
Did he happen to have a backpack on? Or a
Backpack?
hood?
No, he was wearing his normal suit and tie, and very proper businessman. Very, very nice, very nice. No backpack. He just brought his normal briefcase, and definitely not a hood.
Did you happen to see anybody with a hood and backpack?
Now that you mention it, there was one person. I thought it was Cooper, because sometimes he dresses a little weird. I thought he was coming in. This is just about opening time. Yeah, now that you mention it, he did have a backpack. That would be very strange. No, people don't normally come in, and it was a very large backpack. I don't think he had a hood on though. He had black hair, a little bit long, a little stringy. But that's very close to what Cooper looks like, but maybe a little bit. Cooper has a little bit lighter of hair, I think. Now I didn't really put that together. Oh dear. Was there someone there?
Oh, I'm not sure. I just overheard that there was somebody there. But I'm
Oh,
sure it
dear.
was, no, I'm sure it was
Is someone after us? Are we in danger? As her very proper demeanor starts to kind of get worried.
I would not worry too much. I'm sure everything's okay.
Is that a reading, or is that just what you are thinking?
Oh. I close my eyes and tell her that I sense that everything will be okay.
All right. Make
Bullshit.
a sway roll, yes, as you are deceiving her a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, that's Jezebel, all right.
A 4.
A 4, mixed success. All right. She seems to relax a little bit, but there definitely is just an edge of. You may have put some stress into her life, but she does believe you that she just kind of nods and. Well, I thank you for that. Do you need me to pay you for that? She kind of starts
Oh.
reaching for
No.
her money pouch.
No, Wilma, it's okay. I hope you can get some rest. You've had a stressful day.
I appreciate that. You be safe out there. Maybe I'll come and see you soon.
Yes, please do.
And she kind of gives you a smile and then turns and walks away as the butler walks forward and thank you. Right this way, and as he opens the front door to lead you out. And as you guys walk out, night has fallen at this point.
Before we leave,
Go ahead.
could I ask the butler if he knows who Cooper is and what he does at the factory?
The butler stands for a second, kind of turns looking towards where Wilma just left. Make a sway roll as you are attempting to kind of get him to spill things that he's heard from the people he works for. May not be fully wanting to.
Right. I have 2 dice, and one is gilded. A 5 non-gilded.
5 non-gilded. All right, mixed success. He kind of turns. I don't know if I should really spill too much, as that would be very unprofessional. I can tell you that I've heard them talk kind of negatively about him. Seems like he hasn't been the best of workers, may have been on the verge of being let go. But yeah, he's kind of a lazy, a sloth worker.
Well, I appreciate the information, and know that we only have what interests are best for the Andersons. But we appreciate it. I want to make sure that they have everything they need, and if we can help with what actually happened there that day, we would love to provide our assistance. Myself as well as the other professors at the academy.
Of course. We appreciate your look. And he kind of gives a slight bow as he opens the front door. And as you guys make your way out into the night, and as you do, the rain starts to come down as the storm has fully been set upon in the city. As you guys make your way out into the rain and back to your carriage, we follow closely behind your carriage as you retrace your steps back to the factory. If you have any preparation, any plan you want to make, now would be the time.
Alright, is there anything we need to do, or are we going to go into the factory and find what's going on?
I think we can go to the factory, unless there's someone we can ask about Cooper, but I don't know. Maybe we can ask Farah when we see her again. Also, I did bring my laboratory, or my, laboratory equipment, so I can make a concoction of some sorts. It does take a few minutes, but potentially I could make something that we could use within there.
You guys do have a few minutes as you're in this carriage ride to the factory.
So I can do something acidic, explosive, flammable, something that just makes a loud bang, something that's sleep-inducing, as well as sticky or toxic. So, pretty much anything.
We could put a sticky substance down on the ground.
Maybe.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
Seems
man.
like you had the. What are you using those for, Clyde? Why are there so many options?
I just never know when you might need something for any
maybe
occasion.
maybe
We
a
might
sleeping-
encounter.
Okay.
We might encounter a bleed creature. Must be prepared. And I know what you're thinking, Drake. That is disgusting. I would never. I am a
I
proud
didn't say anything.
man of academia.
Well, one of your concoctions of the sleeping potion might come in handy,
All right.
but it's up to you. You know best of your potions.
Question for the sleep-inducing. Guessing I'd have to have them like take it.
Ingest
I
it?
couldn't.
Yep.
I couldn't like throw it at them or anything, right?
No, yeah, it's an ingested thing.
Maybe you should ingest that so I don't have to hear your rambling.
I could use a good nap after dealing with you all day. I think I'll go with Jezebel's idea and we'll get something sticky.
Ah.
That's the vibes I get between you and Jezebel.
Preposterous.
So we see Clyde get out a kit, and he opens it up and he carries it around in a little briefcase, and he starts to take vials out and different liquids and starts to mix them together. And as you guys approach, we move away as Clyde is now holding a vial of this strange substance that looks like he could throw it and it would put a sticky substance on the ground there, or a sticky substance to something. And as we move away from that in his hand, we go out the window of the carriage into the storming night as we see the carriage arrive maybe a block away from the warehouse, as you all get out and make your way into that same alley that you were in before. And as you walk in there, the hooded figure turns and removes her hood, and you see Farah standing there. She nods to you all. Now is a good time. I will approach the side and talk to the guards there. You will be able to enter in through the front entrance. Just make sure you're careful in there, like I said. And best of luck. As she...
Thank you, Farah. Before you leave, we did hear that potentially the man in the hood with the bag was named Cooper. Do you have any additional information on who that might be? We heard that he was potentially threatened or knew of him being laid off, so he could have been disgruntled.
Yeah. Cooper. She kind of thinks for a second. I do think I remember them saying something or reading something. Ah, yes, that was it. There was a report in one of their logs about giving a disciplinary action towards one Cooper Throp, because of late attendance. That could check out. I will keep my mind open for that. But yes, it could be maybe a disgruntled employee trying to get back at them. We'll have to see what other connections this Cooper has. Thank you for that. I haven't heard too much more beyond just that disciplinary action.
Very well. As long as we put all our minds together, we'll figure this out. All right, I think
Sure.
we're ready when you are.
All right, let's go. And she walks around the corner. You guys wait a second as we pan around the corner and see her walking towards. And she kind of holds a hand out and gestures to the guard who's by the front entrance, calling him over to another guard that's standing there on the side. And she kind of positions herself away as the other man gets there, that they are both turned away with their backs towards the front entrance. As she starts speaking to them, you guys make your way out and start to creep along the sides of the buildings and head for the front entrance. I'll have you guys make a group hide roll. So choose one member to make the roll, and anyone that wants to supply a drive can, as this is a high stakes roll.
Well, I must say that my hide roll is trash. And I don't have any.
I only have one. Drake, what about you? How
I
many
give-
hide?
Myself +2 hide, so
I'll give you a drive.
Perfect. I
Okay,
think
so
3
roll
dice
for-
should do it.
So roll 3 dice. Let me know what you
Yeah.
get.
I should have known Drake was the sneaky one.
Yeah.
Very true, very true.
I know his
Yeah.
hide rolls all too well.
Oh.
Get a 5, I guess.
All right,
Or
a
one
5.
of 'em.
All right. You, as a mixed success, you guys are creeping along the far side of the street, and as you guys are moving through the rain, one of the guards turns for a moment and looks towards you all. But when he does, you all kind of huddle up together as if you're just trying to discuss something, and he kind of looks at you guys, and then Farah's like, kind of calls him back to attention, and he turns back away. You continue, and you slip your way in through the front entrance.
I get a whiff of Jezebel's hair. Have a moment of happiness.
Very nice, very nice. And as you guys approach,
Not
this-
creepily. This is, just
just a
circumstance. Drake. I know what you
As you guys approach this front entrance, you see the doors, one of them partially blown off the hinges, as you slip in through the barely cracked door, and you enter into this factory. And as you do, you can hear the rain trickling through still in some areas of the fallen-in roof. And as has been explained to you, you do see, parts of it caved in, especially around the north side. And Farah did tell you guys about a way of getting down through some rubble to where they haven't been able to get yet at the core of the explosion. But you walk into this warehouse and you look up and you can see the walkway, the stairs that lead to the offices where Ivan and Wilma would have been residing. You do see part of the wall up there completely blown out where those filing cabinets were, and as you look down below, you do see the filing cabinets shattered on the ground, papers kind of all over, some of them half broken up, some of them covered in rubble, and you see to the left where this rubble, the majority of the ceiling has caved completely in, and you see the process about halfway through of removing all of that rubble there is being pushed to the side, is being done in a very careful manner to try and reduce a secondary cave-in. As you guys move around to the eastern side where Farah did say that there is a place to go in, I'm gonna have you all, or this will be another group roll, so you guys can choose who wants to roll it. I feel like I know who you're gonna have roll it, but it'll be a sense roll, as you are.
Jezebel.
Yeah, I have 2 and I can make it gilded.
Yep, and then you hold your pennant as you start to sense the bleed. Let's see what you roll for that.
I'm gonna do a drive too, so I'll be 3 and one of them will be gilded.
All right.
Oh, 6, but not the gilded one.
6 not on the gilded. That is his full success. As you are skirting around the outside of this rubble, as you kind of go past maybe the part where they're really trying to get in and starting to become like the hole towards where the explosion happens, you definitely are feeling bleed. It's not to the point where you feel like it is affecting you guys yet, but you can tell that the longer you're here, the more it will affect you, and the closer you get to the explosion point, the more likely it is that you will take damage from the bleed. This would be something consistent to what you have experienced in the past with thinnings. So thinnings, just to give an overview, thinnings are places where there's a flare that protects our world from the supernatural, and thinnings in that flare or that veil is what is what allows bleed to come through. Is what allows beings, monsters, spirits, all those things to enter into our world. So that is the main goal of Candela, to shut down these bleeds and reduce the amount of damage that they inflict. So as you make your way around this, and Jezebel is feeling that, you have some options here. You have the space where Farah says you may be able to squeeze down and may just be a little bit treacherous. You have the space where they've been working to move it away if you guys wanted to try and move some away yourself. Or you could try to climb over and find a way down from above. It is a choice for you guys to make.
Well, before we make a decision, I just want us to remember our last mission. We do not want someone to be lost from the party again, like Vina. So let's be cautious but bold in our decision. As far as strength is concerned and moving the rubble,
You're out.
I might not be able to lift as many boulders as you, Drake, but I will do just fine. But we might have to save that strength for what lies beyond.
Seems like you could climb up pretty easily. Guaranteed.
Can we roll to see how hard it would be to climb up?
I can just tell you, for the different options, the highest stakes roll would be to clear away. A more middle stakes roll would be to to go up above. It'd be easy to get up and maybe a little bit treacherous to go down. And then the lowest stakes roll would be to go through the pathway that Farah pointed out, but it would take the most amount of time. Because it is not a very direct thing.
Over the rocks we go.
middle stakes roll. So as you guys
We
start
don't
to
have time. We have to go.
Climb it.
Couldn't agree more.
as you guys start to climb your way over this rubble, your guys' foot or your steps are very tender. Who's taking the lead to lead your way up?
Does anyone have a good move?
This
Trait?
will be a move roll, yes.
Put
Only
plus
one.
2.
All right.
Extra.
Drake, take the lead since you're so confident.
Step
Alright.
back, Clyde, and watch through that monocle of yours. How
I would
real man
love
is it?
to stay back with Jezebel.
Yeah, but she's gonna be looking at me while I climb up.
So
Jezebel.
Drake, you start to climb up,
Alright.
kind of feeling your footing and finding handholds as you climb up and over this rubble. Have you make a move roll. On a
Roll.
success or mixed success, you'll come out unscathed. On a fail, there may be some body taken.
I roll 2 dice. For
All right.
plus 2, I think.
Yep. Two
It's-
dice.
2 dice.
1 and a 6.
Oh, so
Nice.
you get a full success as you very nimbly start to climb over these rocks. And what in your past would give you kind of that athleticism? What did you do in your past?
Oh, my father always had me go outside many a times, just go playing catch or running, and he was very outdoorsy. He took me on a lot of his adventures, so I was always having to climb through certain areas.
Love that.
But-
As you
I think his father called it a difficult game about climbing.
oh dear. And just for that,
Couldn't use his legs at all.
just for that, Drake and D-Wall, the narrator, both take mental.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Instant,
God,
instant scar.
Instant
Yeah.
scar.
Instant
brain
scar.
bleed.
And
As
I'm down there, I'm
you-
like, well, even I have to admit, he climbs very well.
You nimbly make your way over with this just memory of all the climbing that you've done. You set a path that both Jezebel and Clyde will follow up and are able to follow it up very easily. And you manage to avoid any loose rocks and loose rubble that would crash down onto your party below. As you make your way up and over, and as you get on top of this rubble pile, you start to look down towards where this explosion would have happened from, and you do see some areas where you think you could perhaps lower a rope down, or perhaps climb down again, if you do not want to or do not have a rope on you. And you would see an area as you kind of look down through the cracks. You see a bunch of pipes, kind of concrete, large pipes, as well as thinner metal pipes that are all kind of either shattered, or some are still intact but definitely moved out of place, all around this forge. And you can see a forge where a forge used to be. It has died down now. Maybe it was just a little bit left in the coals, but definitely seems to be the marks of an explosion emanating from that spot.
Clyde, Jezebel, I see something down there. It's definitely where it originated from. I think we could use some type of rope. I don't know if you guys have any. But I could risk it. I could climb down there. I am pretty good, but even I am a little skeptical.
Just curious, Drake, have you got any of your 3 items yet?
I haven't. I was looking at my gear, and I don't seem to have anything that be of use.
Could he generate rope? Just
Yes,
as says that he has it.
since you guys didn't know kind of what you're going into, I would say that you could have retrieved a rope at any point, and you just fill that in on the blank option at the bottom.
He has like a cord for his camera around his neck that's super long.
Super long.
Yeah.
Super long.
Well, that's quite the strap you have there, young man.
Use my belt.
How large are you?
It's Clyde's.
It's-
We can connect our belts. All right.
all right, what are
I
you
can
doing?
put rope down.
All right, so you find a spot to tie this rope around one of the larger. You kind of feel it. It feels like a very secure rock. Definitely could hold all your weight. And you lower it down into this gap, and it is a little bit of a tight squeeze. But you guys manage to squeeze through and start lowering yourself down this rope. I'll have you make another move action. I'm gonna actually have all of you make it, starting with Drake, and then Jezebel, and then Clyde.
Hmm.
And this is a bit of a medium stakes roll, because should you fail, you might take a little bit of a fall, maybe some body marks.
I got a 4 and a 1.
So mixed success as you lower yourself down this rope. Your hand slips a little bit, but you manage to catch it. But just
Holy smokes! Oh, I thought I was slipping.
the fear
Oh,
of that
Drake.
fall, of the dangers you see, remembering your last mission, you see Vina falling out of the train that you were on, and you remember that death. I'm gonna have you take another brain mark,
My goodness.
and then you reach the bottom and you look up, and now Jezebel starts to make her way down the rope. Jezebel, if you will make a move roll.
Take it nice and slow, Jezebel. I almost slipped.
I'm gonna use a drive.
Very nice, very nice.
I'll
God.
make sure to watch you as you
Ooh,
come
I
down.
got a 6. 6 and
Very
5.
nice. So Jezebel, lowering down that more thinner frame, is able to easily lower herself down the rope and reaches the bottom without any difficulty. As
Ooh.
next up is Clyde to make his way down.
Come on, Clyde.
That should be no problem whatsoever. Rolled a 3.
Oh,
So Clyde starts to lower himself down, and as he does, his monocle slides off, and he goes to catch it, then- slips down off the rope as well, and
Clyde!
falls to the ground.
Oh,
And lands falling on his legs, but you feel the pain immediately as your ankle and your knee give out. I'm gonna have you take 2 marks of body.
oh my God. Clyde, I should have had you stay up above. I knew you were too frail.
Why'd you grease that rope, bastard?
Jezebel, that was on last.
Oh,
She used a spell on it.
oh my god. No, I didn't.
is this true,
Is the
Jezebel?
monocle broken? Like, is your
That's true.
monocle
Did
like-
I?
No, you managed to
Nice.
catch the monocle. You
Oh,
kept
thank
it,
God.
but at the cost of your ankle and knee.
Oh my.
Oh,
Are you okay? I run over, put my arm around him. I don't think
How's
he's
that ankle,
okay.
Clyde? Can
I
you-
don't think he's okay.
oh, oh.
Can you walk on it? Can you move?
Let me just do my morning yoga. Get it moving again. Yeah, I think I'm okay. I think I can walk.
Starts to walk and has a little bit of a hobble, but
Oh,
still able to
I
move.
reach over and put some of my weight on Jezebel's shoulder. Oh, thank you, Jezebel.
Oh, did it on purpose, didn't you?
No, I think
Classic
if she
Clyde.
kissed it. No.
I'm
As
going
you
on
guys-
ahead.
As you guys are now here, you turn and look around. You are now near this forge, and Jezebel, as you grasp that pendant again, you do sense a large amount of bleed coming from the direction of the forge. From what you would understand, you would think that the forge, the thinning, may be within this forge. But the longer you are here, the more exposed to bleed you will be. As you start to look around, you do notice a very absent amount of bodies. You do notice explosion marks going outward from the forge. You notice the pipes all piled up and cracked and splintered around the sides. And you notice just the slightest little piece of metal that looks different from the pipe metal. It would seem something that you would probably have recognized from what Pharaoh was saying with maybe a canister. And the canister's on the back of the backpack. What is your guys' next step in this investigation?
Careful, you guys. I definitely sense bleed, and we can't be here very long.
What is this metal piece? Is this from one of the canisters that was described from the large backpack?
Are
It
you
seems like it could
investigating?
be.
Are you looking at it? Or picking it up?
Yeah, let's see. Search track spot. I'll try to survey and see if there's anything else I find.
All right, very good. Make a
Of
survey roll.
detail. Okay.
So as you look at this piece of metal, it's a little too smooth and doesn't seem like the circular pipe. It seems more like a curved cylinder.
Okay,
A
I got
little-
snake eyes from
No.
beautiful.
So as you look,
Wait, what is the diamond?
resistance. If you want to,
That's
use a
gilded, I
res-
think.
oh, if it's to the left,
Oh yeah,
there's two different diamonds. There's one
Oh,
to
yeah,
resistance,
the-
one to the left.
the
The resistance are
ne-
triangles for us.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the one next to my survey.
That
Mhm.
means it's gilded.
Okay.
So one of your dice, I think we're just doing on the thing you guys are using, like the furthest right dice, is your gilded
Okay.
dice. So you can choose that option, and if you do, then you recover one of your drives in that category. So, what's that one? Nerve.
Intuition.
Intuition.
Oh, yeah, you were doing a survey, not a move.
Survey,
My
yeah.
bad. I was thinking move for some reason. An intuition drive. You can recover an intuition drive for taking a gilded. And as you do, you lean in, looking at this thing. You kind of reach out and turn it over. And when you do, Drake, what does bleed feel like to you?
Oh.
Just a sense of no hope because it reminds me of my dad and me assuming he's got lost to the bleed.
Amazing.
So, yep.
Yeah, you get that sense, that feeling of dread, of no hope enters the pit of your stomach, kind of clenching it up. You do see scratched just ever so slightly onto the side of the container the initials CT.
GT.
And
Cooper.
as
Super throb.
Aha.
but you do also take one mark of bleed.
Oh god.
What does that put you at?
I think I'm at 2 brain, 1 bleed. Unless
Alright.
I'm.
Nope, that sounds right. All right. That you do get that piece of information at the cost of a bleed.
Guys, I see initials CT on this the metal. Is that Cooper? Is that right?
Yeah, I believe Farah said Cooper Thorpe, as Jezebel stated.
Thank goodness.
I guess he wasn't so lazy after all.
He came out with canisters, right? So is these just extra? Or were you thinking he's the one who did this?
That is a good point.
What?
But Cher, I mean, we can only take Cher's account with a grain of salt. Maybe the bag and when she saw it was at a different time of the explosion.
What could he possibly have been doing with the canister? Like putting something in it?
Maybe collecting bleed.
Maybe he was.
Did
Maybe.
you feel anything while holding that there, Drake?
I just felt a higher concentration of the bleed. Something's close. I don't really want to talk about it.
If
Maybe we could snap a picture of that as evidence.
That is true.
If the journalist thinks that would be appropriate.
Finally, you're learning something.
Bah. You're lucky I still have this monocle.
I'll pull out my camera and take a picture.
Alright, so mark down that you have a camera as you pull out the camera and snap a picture as the bright flash of this old-time camera with the large
True.
light on the top of it. You snap a picture and then put it back around your shoulders as you now have a picture of the CT on this piece of canister. If any of you else would like to, if you want to look more at this, you can make another read roll, or sense, depending on what you're trying to look for, or you can survey more of your surroundings, or what is it that you were wanting to do?
I think I might do a sense. Can I just do a sense in the general area too?
100%. Make
To
a
try to
sense
get
roll.
more information. Okay. Sorry. I closed my.
Jezebel, we don't have all day.
I know. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I got a 4.
A 4 makes
Double
success. All right.
4.
As you look around and kind of grasp your pendant again and close your eyes and focus, then you hear once again that voice, the voice of your grandma in the back of your head. It says, "Look!" And you open your eyes, and just as there's a flash of lightning, you see just on the backside of the forge, you see just the slightest little reflection of blue-green, almost like a line wisping through the air towards the pipes.
I see
I
a.
am gonna have you take also a mark of bleed as you are.
Ooh.
That is the mixed part of it.
That's okay. Can I also use? I have let them in.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you take 1 or more bleed marks, you gain additional information about the phenomenon that harmed you.
Yeah, perfect. It's a perfect use for that.
Damn, that woman's attractive. I thought in my mind.
So you do that, and as you do, you let that bleed seep into you just a little bit more, and you get the feeling that this bleed is coming from a thinning within the forge for sure, which you had already kind of been assuming, but it is coming through not directly. It has been transferred to something, and you're feeling it, and you're seeing it go off in another direction, and it is affecting something else, something towards those pipes.
Something over by these pipes. Point over there.
There's a pile of very large, like concrete pipes looking like a large industrial, almost like the workings of maybe something that would be lowered down into a sewer of some kind, or maybe the subway that is being built.
Is it coming from the sewer? Or the subway?
Or have these pipes been installed? Or they just
They're being made. They're not installed.
Okay, so the factory's making pipe.
Yes, it is a pipe factory.
That makes sense.
Factory.
The Anderson Pipe Factory.
Should we
Well-
investigate and get closer?
Yes, I think we should look at where this is coming from.
All right, Jezebel, lead the way. Where did you see these? Where was
Lead
it?
them over.
So are you
Be
leading
limping right
them?
behind you.
Are you leading them from where you saw Just want to clarify to where you saw the bleed going from or going to.
Oh shoot, good question. So it's coming from the forge though, or is it coming
It's
from the
coming
pipes
from-
underground?
It's coming from slightly back behind the forge to the left. So
Yes,
it's not directly
so-
from it.
Let's go check that out. Where's it coming from?
So as you walk your way around the side of the forge, you do see another canister. But this one is intact. It stands about 1.5 feet tall and maybe 6 inches in radius, as it is a pretty large canister, but it is there next to the forge. It doesn't have any sense of damage on it. You don't see any damage, almost as if it most likely wasn't here during the explosion. And you see, as another lightning strikes, once again, the flicker of this blue-green essence going out of the forge into the canister, but then also part of it leaving the canister, going towards those pipes.
Do they see this too, or just?
When the lightning strikes, all of you can see this.
Okay.
You all have seen the effects of bleed. You've seen kind of the way it can be manifested. It is something that you all would notice, being investigators of Candela.
Well, it looks like Cooper or someone else came back after the explosion to collect the essence of bleed.
So maybe he didn't cause it, but maybe he's extracting it.
Potentially.
Should we see where it
I'm
leads?
going to
Yeah.
inspect the full canister just to try to see how it works.
All right. I'll have you make a focus roll to analyze.
Okay.
Unless
That's
there's
2
there's
dice.
something other that you think would fit better.
Nope,
That's
I
another
think
thing.
That's
If
perfect.
if I ever say something, or if you have an idea of what type of roll you're trying to make, as long as you can make it make sense of like why you're using that roll, then tell me. Like that's totally fine to do. But I think focus, the analyze, inspect portion of focus.
I got a 5, gilded.
Gilded 5, recover a drive
Woohoo.
as a mixed success. So as you approach the canister and start looking at it, you see another, just barely, it's just the slightest carve of CT carved into the side of it, and you see it does have an eerie resemblance to what you guys use to contain your bleed, the bleed containment vials. It's very eerily similar to that. And it is strange because only someone who has either worked with Candela or is a part of Candela would know how to do this, how to make this. But it does have, it's been modified. It has an extra sense of it. It seems like it can contain more. It can pull in more as well as release.
Well, this is like the vials that we use. I decided to pick it up and take it as evidence.
All right.
Interesting that
as you pick it
it
up,
has CT.
you feel once again your vision start to blur, and you take 2 bleed marks.
Oh no.
Holy!
As
Ugh.
you get the idea. You may want to figure out how to stop it from emanating, whether closing or whatever you can do.
All right. Well, can I inspect it again?
Does that
Oh,
push
no.
you to 3 bleed, by the way?
I am at 3. Yes.
Okay, so 1 more bleed and you'll take a scar.
So the canister itself, it looks like I can close it, or I need to close the thinning.
Yeah, so where it is coming, you get the idea. Definitely the thinning is something that needs to be addressed, but the canister itself, Looking at it, it is the same as your containment vials, where you are able to close them.
Okay. I will inspect it to see how I can close it.
All right, it doesn't take very long, as it is similar to you or familiar to you. You find the spots, the knobs, and you turn them, and a lightning strikes, and you see that line that you guys were seeing before is no longer there. It's been cut away. And now, as you pick up the canister, you don't get that feeling of bleed washing over you.
All right, I think I have it contained. We'll keep
And
this for
then-
evidence.
Drake, I think
Maybe
I heard
turn
you
the
say
knob.
that you wanted to go investigate where it was going to, correct?
Yep, I think that'd be a good idea.
All right.
And
Come on,
do
Clyde and Jezebel, let's go.
do I notice that the forge itself is still the source?
Jezebel would still be getting that feeling of there still is bleed here. It is weaker. It is weaker than what you were feeling now that this is closed.
Okay.
Um,
And from our
as
previous
you were doing-
experience,
sorry.
oh
go
sorry,
ahead.
I was gonna
Go
say
ahead.
from our previous experience, do we know how to close thinnings?
Yeah, so
Or-
you would know that thinnings generally need to be closed by containing bleed that is there, as well as anything that is helping keep it open in terms of. So one thing you just did, it definitely helps. So this containment vial that was pulling bleed from the thinning, closing that starts to, the bleed starts to seep back in. It starts to reduce in intensity, as well as if there is something else here that is affecting it.
Okay.
You would need to close one of those things. Also, usually there's some type of object or something that is kind of causing it, or is the base of it. And then
Perfect.
sometimes in more extreme situations, it can be an actual, you can see the split in reality. So you're not sure exactly, as the forge is still sitting there kind of slowly, just very remnants of coal still in it. But as you're inspecting this canister, Drake, you walk towards these pipes. I'll have you make a survey roll as you approach and start to look around, looking down inside of them. You kind of are walking. The camera's following behind you as you look down. You see out the other end. You can see the light, just barely cresting on the backside, as you see that it's a clear pipe, and you go on to the next one, and the next one. What is your rule?
While he's doing that, I want to be going to have research materials with me.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to look through them to see if I'm familiar or there's research on the specific device.
Okay. So you start to kind of flip through this research material and start to see that. Drake, what is your role?
Which roll for
For
sorry,
a survey roll?
Survey. 2, 6 and a 3.
Right, a 6, a full success. So as you're looking down, you look down, you see the pipe clear, empty on the other side, maybe a little bit of rubble. You see one pipe that's slightly splintered, but still looks quite clear. You hit another pipe, but you don't see the back end of it. You normally can see the light at the other end. This one you can't.
I continue on or let the others know. I think I found something where it kind of ends, possibly. I'm gonna go. We should go further.
Okay,
Follow
so
the
are you going into the pipe or to investigate more pipes?
Oh,
to
it's that
clarify?
big?
Ooh,
It's big.
okay.
It's a very large, like concrete pipe.
Okay.
Maybe you can use your camera and take a flash. Give you a little bit more visibility.
Good idea, Clyde. I hate to admit that, but
That's okay. It's fine. You climbed well back there.
Oh, look at that.
yeah, I'll take a flash of my camera.
All right, you raise your camera up. You hear the charge of the bulb starting to heat up, and then, and as the flash releases, you see a face looking back at
God.
you,
Jesus.
eyes dead, glassed over, and you see one, you see two, 3, 4, a whole clump
Bodies.
of bodies. They seem to be fused together
Oh God.
Oh, God.
as the molten from the forge mixed with parts of debris mixed with the bodily fluids forms into this glob of bodies staring at you. The eyes dead, motionless.
Human centipede?
Yeah.
You
Some type of...
This sight horrifies you as you will take a brain. And as you start to look closer, you hear a squelch as you see it start to roll towards you.
Oh God.
Oh no.
And what are you gonna do?
Clyde, Jezebel! There's something in this pipe! Everyone back up!
Well, obviously there's something in the pipe. What is it?
And
I
as
didn't
you
realize
move
guys were with me,
away,
okay?
as you move away from the pipe and you're turning towards Jezebel and turning towards Clyde, you hear the squelching start to grow and intensify as it starts to pick up pace, and it is squelching and moving, and you turn and glance over your shoulder as you see the bodies rolling over themselves, flowing like a wave, pushing towards you.
And then,
Gross.
This
what
is,
potions did you have, Clyde?
I have my sticky potion. Why do you ask?
Throw it down!
Then you need to throw the sticky potion down.
Very well. I just throw it past Clyde at the front of the pipe or the entrance of it.
You throw that. I'm gonna have you make a control roll to
Okay.
accurately throw this vial. And as you pulling your arm back to release it, you see what he's describing. You see this massive body starting to emerge from this tube. It looks just like the end of like a dried up piece of like glue that's like being pushed out of a glue bottle as it just pulls out almost like it shouldn't be fitting in there.
My God.
I wish you would have AI generated this image.
True. I had 2 control and I did a drive because I feel like this is very important.
This is a high
So I
stakes
got-
roll, for sure.
2 3s and a 6. So that is a success.
So you pull your arm back and you release it, and it flies through the air and smacks onto the ground and releases. And as this glob rolls onto it, you see it slow as it's trying to push through, but it is slowing down its pursuit. What do you guys do as you have this moment to?
My God,
to
what did
gather
you wake
yourself?
up, Clyde? Oh my,
What? You're Clyde. Get it
I'm
together,
Clyde.
man. We need,
sorry. I'm a bit taken
think-
aback.
I think we need to run. We're not equipped.
Let's get out of here.
You think?
Well, we gonna run back up the rope?
Just
I
to
can bet.
gain our bearings.
Okay, we did so.
Let's see.
Is there any environmental hazards nearby?
What?
You just have the forge, a couple like rubble, the pipes, and then your guys' rope. Other than that, it's been all blasted back against the walls. It's kind of clear in here, other than a bit of rubble that's maybe fallen after the explosion.
Mm.
Can I use my bending spoons to like knock over a like pillar to block it from rolling any further?
Yeah, you could
Dang.
remind me of what that does exactly.
You can make a sense roll to control an object in the room with your mind. Flip a switch, knock something over, move a small object, put out a light, etc. On a mixed success, you may take a bleed mark to make it a full success instead.
Okay. So yeah, you can make that. I said sense roll, right?
Yeah.
So you can make that sense roll. I'll say that there's the debris above. You can probably pull just some small part of it out just to weaken the structure of it to make it collapse down.
Okay.
Make that sense roll.
I'll roll it.
And if anyone has any extra slots, which I do not, potentially we could use a
Ooh,
hand
I got a
weapon.
6.
Hand weapon.
A 6. Amazing. So
Damn.
You pull down. You guys see
5 and 6.
Jezebel bring out these bending spoons, and something that you have never really witnessed before, but you see her focus on them, and a part of the ceiling or the rubble that's above you is making this makeshift ceiling crumbles down. You see the dust start to fall before a large collapse falls down on top of this, and you see as it squishes down and is trying to push its way through, slow down even more now, and it seems as though it is starting to break apart. You're seeing the bodies being pulled apart, skin getting pulled away as it is being torn apart.
Right.
Gross.
Ye gods, Jezebel. You have the force.
You're up.
Well done, Jezebel. Are those all the bodies that have been missing?
Yeah, I think so. It's gross.
So now the bodies are like coming after us as individual things?
You would definitely get the idea that the bodies are dead. But there is a bleed that is some sense of the bleed is keeping this thing alive or giving it life. Maybe from something within.
It possible for me to try and make another chemical concoction, or is it just a one-time use?
I think you can make another. You just have the time to do it. So you can do this. It'll be kind of a high stakes situation because both Drake and Jezebel will have to maybe distract it or something as you finish this, as it does take some time.
I could try to make a flammable concoction if we can distract it long enough.
Like it. We'll distract
Do it, Clyde.
All right, I get my little lab equipment out and I start mixing and
You
tinkering.
find a little corner on the other side of the forge from where this is, and you pull out once again your briefcase with the concoctions and start rapidly trying to mix it. I will say, if you want to increase the speed that you do this, you could make a control roll, but it will be a high stakes roll. If you fail, it could cause this to explode prematurely. But it would reduce the amount of time that you need to finish it.
Oh, God.
What kind of hand whip? As this says hand weapon, is that a gun or is it?
It can be a gun. It can be a knife. It can be any of these things. Anything. It could be a makeshift weapon. Anything.
Range weapon.
A strange weapon is a more magical weapon. But just this glob is this glob is starting to push its way out. It's a hand weapon, so you pull out a pistol.
Yeah.
But, it's starting to push its way out, and you see as it does, it is getting ripped in half. These bodies are starting to lose the skin. You're starting to see bone and muscle and tissue and fat as the skin is getting removed from these debris that is on top of it, as it pushes through these gaps. I will also say that your Jezebel, you're starting to feel that this bleed is intensifying, as you feel as if you stay here too much longer, that you will start to take damage from this bleed. It will start to have an effect.
All right,
We
I'm
need
gonna
to
make
get out of here.
the roll.
I'm gonna.
All right.
Are you doing the speed roll or the?
the control roll to
Control.
get the stuff, the flammable concoction done
I
quicker?
could also pull out a gun, so you don't have to
Well.
delay it. They don't
Can I
blow
pull
up.
out-
Would the gun
pull
give
out
us enough time for me? I guess how long is this? How much extra speed do you think this would give me?
This would reduce it down from being maybe like a 5 to 10 minute process down to like a 2-minute process.
Hmm.
I think it's worth it.
Real
Alright.
quick, can I pull out? Can my strange weapon be like a little explosive device? Or
it could.
wand?
A wand,
A wand
ooh.
would be, I don't want to say no
got
to
this
it.
from
but it would
Universal
have to have some
Studios.
sort- yeah, it'd have to have some effects. It could be an explosive thing. So a strange weapon would be something that has some magical element to it. It might be something that you guys have found that got infected with from bleed. It could also be, let's see. Let me take a look real quick. Yeah, it can definitely be, something that could kill it, could do damage to it. It's
Hmm.
Could do like.
I did roll a 1 and a 5.
Oh.
God
Oh
damn.
my god!
I'm like slowly like, oh.
I-
so
And
as
then I take a deep breath.
you relax yourself, but this moment of tension, and your hand almost slips as you're mixing the last vial, and it just causes that little bit of anxiety and stress to just build up for a second, as you will take, as the mixed part of it, you will take a brain as the tension of this situation, but you finish the concoction.
Two brain.
This is so as he's finishing this up, you guys have a moment where this thing is now rolling once again, free from the debris. Is starting to roll towards you guys, creeping forward like a wave, like a blob that is just pushing its way towards you. The front of it is kind of almost like the front side of a wave just coming at you. Drake, you're the closest. Jezebel just behind him. What are you guys doing?
I'm almost done. Distracted.
It is pushing
Isabel, do you have a
towards
weapon, or do I need to use
I'm
mine?
pulling out. I'm pulling out a.
Just kill it.
I spit on it.
Yeah.
Spit on it, it's coming
It
closer.
grows bigger
You
with
see
more
the
fluid.
Yeah, you see the spit just soak in and pour into the body.
I'm yelling, I'm screaming while Jezebel creates her
I have, like, a
weapon.
little knife.
Get back, you demon!
As
Really,
you do,
it's
just
like a little
the
magical knife thing that. Or hold on, I'm googling.
There's no time for research, Jezebel.
I think you might have to just shoot the damn
Okay,
thing.
I have a little instrument that would play little enemies to sleep.
Oh, okay. So, you pull this out, and
It's a harmonica.
Oh.
I'll have you make a.
Harmonica.
I'll make you have a sense roll. Another sense roll. As you're
Strange
trying to
weapon.
use this strange thing.
Made from a rib
As
cage.
this thing is still
It is.
pulling towards you. Oh, I like that. Yeah, ribcage. As this thing is still pulling towards you, Drake, you see parts of the body. An arm moves out, and as it does, there's tendon and bone and meat, as well as debris just pulling it, almost like the look of like if you were pulling like two things that are sticky apart, like two glue parts, and it has those pieces that are just sticking them together. As it reaches out a hand, the body still is dead, but it is moving this hand towards you to reach out to swipe at you. I'm gonna have you make a move roll to dodge out of the way.
Hmm.
This is a high stakes roll.
I will do a drive, and I have the +2, so it'll be. And a drive is always gilded.
No,
Okay.
it's only
just
gilded.
extra.
You will always have one of your dice gilded if to the left. left of the
I
name
see.
is filled in.
All right, so just
diamond.
3 dice.
On Drake.
Roll 5.
A 5 mixed success. So as it reaches out for you, you manage to dodge out of the way. A little speck of
Oh,
blood
Jezebel!
falls onto your
Yeah.
coat as you will take 1 bleed mark as you dodge out of the way. But as it swings that hand down and you feel the power as it slams into the ground, as it shakes a little bit, there is power behind this as it starts to roll forward again, picking up speed as it is now going for you, Jezebel. What was your sense roll?
It was 5.
A
5 and
5,
3.
another mixed success. As it rolls towards you, you pull out this harmonica made out of bone and rib cage, and you start to play it, and this eerie melody just fills the room as you see it slow down the monster. But the effect that a strange weapon has, it also drains you as it takes part of your life force into this. And as you release it, you're going to take, I would say it will take a body as it is draining that life force from you. And you play it and you see it start to slow down. You do get the idea that this thing does not sleep. So it is not going to fall asleep, but it is some magical essence is causing this to have an effect, to slow this down. And about this time, Clyde, you finish mixing that last part and you now have this vial in your hand.
My God, Jezebel, it's beautiful. All
As
right.
her body is being.
Yeah, being
Drained.
drained. I mean, that would pique my intellectual curiosity.
You almost
What? Have you made the
get-
potion yet?
No, God, yes, I haven't finished.
Talking at the
Yeah.
as you look over at Jezebel and you see this creature just pulling towards her as she's standing there playing this harmonica, and you see 4 hands slowly trying to reach out towards her, and you hear the music playing and you see Jezebel's face almost going more gaunt as she is playing this. You almost see some of her hair starting to turn white. What do?
You will not take another of mine! And I take the flammable vial and I throw it directly at the center of the mass of the creature.
All right, make another control roll. Very high stakes. Not for yourself, but for Jezebel.
Can I help you?
Yeah.
I think Jezebel,
Or-
since you are,
I can give him a drive.
I think I would let you give a help in
Blow
this
me a
action
kiss or something?
since you have slowed him down. Since
Yeah,
you are
I'll-
slowing him down,
Mm.
his movement is slowed. I will say that Jezebel, if you want to give a drive, you can.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay. 3 dice it is.
Very high stakes.
Rolling. Oh! A 4, 5, and a 6.
Holy!
Yeah, let's go.
You
I
see,
at first, and I was like, no.
you
Oh,
see
no.
your love interest about to be grabbed by this thing, this disgusting pile of meat. You throw your vial, you release it, it spins through the air, slamming into the center of mass as it bursts of flame engulfs this entire thing, and you hear almost the slightest bit as all the mouths of all the bodies open, and you hear just the slightest aired out scream release from it as you see essence. You see the bluish green bleed essence pulling
Die!
away from the flames. The flames have turned into a greenish color as it seeps back, and you see it going into the forge, into where this thinning is coming from, as these bodies begin to burn and the essence starts to separate them. And the flames, as it cools down, you see, as the flames die down, charred bodies, separated now, but completely burnt away. And as you look into the forge, you see where those coals were glowing. If you would have looked a little bit closer, you see a slight bluish green tinge to them, and you see it start to dissipate and return to a reddish, sort of reddish orange glow. And you feel a sense of relief wash over you as you get the idea that
Glad you
thing
son of
has
a
been
bitch, you
closed.
did it.
Has
we,
been closed.
we all did it. And I find myself, I didn't even realize, but I'm in front of Jezebel, arms protecting her. And then I realize I have a lot of pain in my ankle.
Oh, no.
And I just kind of like crumple on the ground.
Thank you, Clyde, and I give you a big hug.
Oh, I can't believe we did it.
I'm okay too, thanks guys.
God. Sure.
The permanent
Lucky
third
you
wheel.
were in the front, Drake. I don't think I would have dodged that mass.
Not taking many moments to, see if everyone's okay, because I want to try to get a sample, if possible.
Yeah, for sure. We can
Bleeds.
say, I'm gonna have you make a control roll to try and do this as this essence was flowing away from it. You try and get a sample of it. Make that control roll.
Oh god. What if it's 0? Do I just get 1, or can I?
If
even
you have
roll
0, you rolled 2, and you take the lower number.
that? Oh, take the lower number.
Disadvantage.
Yep, disadvantage for the D&D folks.
Don't tell Drake, Jezebel, but I almost dropped that flammable concoction while I was making it.
God,
But
3.
your music pushed me through.
3.
I'm glad
you
I could
go-
help with my
Even though it is a failure,
harmonica.
the only failure part of it is that you are going to take 2 marks of bleed.
Oh
As
my
you
god.
As you thrust your hand with the vial, getting some of the vial in, you do successfully get some of the bleed into a vial. But it does come at the cost as you feel the bleed essence course through your hand. Does that puts you at 3, correct?
I think that's.
Or is that the 4th?
That's a scar.
That's a scar.
Bleed.
As you guys
Ooh.
watch, as the flames die down, as this bleed is seeping back and the thinning is starting to close, you see Drake thrust his hand into it, and you see the essence go into the vial, but you see him yell out and then drop to the ground unconscious.
Ah!
Oh,
Drake!
what the? No!
Oh.
I'm like crawling over because my feet hurt. I'm like, no, Drake!
You get over to him and
Run over.
you start to resuscitate him, and since the
With my walrus
scene
mustache.
is over, you're only out for just a moment. But when you come back to, Drake, what is your scar? What has this bleed done to your body?
Mm.
And you can take your time on this. It's okay.
Yeah.
What's like an example of what, like just like a,
You could leave.
like you
it
lose
could
like a
be,
limb?
that'd probably be more of like a body scar. Since this is
Oh.
a bleed scar, it's probably something more mental to happen. It could be something like the bleed leaves like a mark on, since your hand was in, maybe it was on your hand. Maybe there's a discoloration to your hand that now you feel the essence like
Ew.
within you. So what this will also do is you're gonna take one of your dice off of one of your traits and put it somewhere else. So you get to move it, and now you can move it to above 3 as well. I usually would want this to be something along the lines of what goes with your bleed. So if you did do it, like something happened to your hand, for example, maybe you would lose one in strike or control, or maybe you would gain one in strike or control with it having more power, like a more powerful punch or something. But maybe you would lose something in something else. Maybe you lost one in focus or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to say. I like the hand thing. I think it just shows my right hand scarred. maybe with like a slight coloring of the green and bluish hue, indicating that it is from the bleed,
Yeah, and as you
causing some like pain every now and again. Always a reminder,
Mm.
and then
I like that.
just limitations in some parts, but
And what action are you going to take away from, and what are you going to add to?
Ooh. Maybe I'll take. Oh boy, so many options.
As he's deciding, I go down to give him mouth to mouth. Our mustaches touch.
Get the hell away from me.
So
I'm
as you
moving.
guys,
I thought I saw you black out. I wasn't sure.
I'll take one away from move.
okay.
Lost one move, and then. I'll just add it to read, so then I have two and read.
All right. So as you come back to and you look down at your hand, you see the discoloration starting to form on your fingertips and creeping down before it blends back into your normal skin color. And you feel as though you have this pain that kind of slows you down at times, making you slower, removing that move away. But you also removing when you're slowing down and stepping back for a second, it gives you more time to be able to read and to look and interpret things, and you feel like you've gained a more insight into this bleed that you now have taken into your body. And you can erase all the bleed off all the bleed marks and just write down that scar as the first scar. And as you all will pan away from this situation, as we move away, we see you guys kneeling down on the ground next to Drake as he is slowly getting up, leaning up on his arm and looking at his hand, feeling that pain. And the rain is falling as we go away from the warehouse, continuing to move out as it all fades to black, and you know you have removed a thinning from this situation, from this warehouse. These lost bodies, although they may be returned in an unfavorable state, they are found, as this assignment has been completed. A very nice job.
Woo!
We're
Now
live!
Well done,
Yeah,
team.
You are alive.
Oh, congrats on the first scar there, Drake.
As
Chicks dig scars.
Yes.
yeah.
Love blue-green.
So as we finish up an assignment, if do you have the circle sheet there with you?
I do.
If you want to take a look at the questions. So
Hey,
I don't know if I have them pulled up.
did you contain or destroy a source of bleed?
Sure did.
Yes. Did you provide comfort or support for those affected by a phenomena?
Very much. Wow, I didn't even
I
know
feel
that was...
I feel like Wilma and Cher.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of Farah.
So with each yes, you can fill in one of the circles on the circle advancement, starting at like the 12 o'clock just to the right of it. Start working your way around.
Okay. Did you bring something of importance back for Candela Obscura to protect or study?
You
I
did,
guess
you got the
technically we got
canister.
3 things.
Yeah, you did. You got quite a few.
So is it just one for the mark, or is it for everything
So
that we wrote back?
you get, if every person, or if you got yes for everything, then you earn. No. So you get 3 points for that.
Hmm.
And then now for your individual illumination keys. So those are the the things at the bottom of your character sheet. So journalist, gather a statement, hunt down a lead, or speak truth to power. Do you feel like you did any of those things?
Oh,
For
This is
for Drake.
Oh.
Do you feel like you gathered statements, hunt down a lead, or speak truth to power? I feel like you did do at least 2 of those things.
Gather lead.
Because you guys did
Hunted
get the
down a lead.
lead. You got the lead of Wilma and went and talked with
True.
her. You also kind of gathered some statements by going and talking to your journalist friends and
Oh yeah.
hearing what they had to say. I could probably count that. So we'll say yes for that. So professor, mentor and ally, reference research, or make a plan. You did do. I never got back to you on the research that you did look
True.
at, but you did do that. You also made a plan. I think you also mentored an ally. So
yes, I think I did all 3.
very
So
nice.
boom.
And then the medium. Did you connect with someone? Did you sense phenomenon? Did you make a scene? I think you definitely connected with someone and definitely sensed phenomenon. Lots of it.
Yep.
She brought down a pillar.
Yeah. Do that. I guess
that a scene?
But yeah, so you only had to do one of those things. So everyone said yes,
Okay.
so fill in an additional 4 circles. It's a very nice
Okay,
job
so
on
for
that.
the 3 questions, it was 3, and now it's an additional 4.
Yep. I believe that gets
Okay.
you to the first bolded.
Nice. Also, as a professor, I chose meticulous notes. So that's if your current cunning resistance is 2 or more, which I did have that. Add +1d to focus rolls. After an assignment, increase your illumination track 1 additional point because of the detailed notes your character returns with.
What you taking some detailed notes?
I know.
There you go.
Clyde and
So-
his details. You have like a little pocketbook?
I do. My little journal that has
Like
those missing
you
dates.
whip out? Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Very nice.
Ta-da. Perfect.
All right. So now that we have finished that, you've reached your first milestone. I'm going to do this now. I'm kind of gonna do it a little different because of how everything's gonna be lined up for future assignments. But for each milestone, you're going to get to choose one of the character advancement options. So you can either add 1 action point, so that's adding a dice to an action, or add 2 drive points, or take a new ability, or guild an additional action. So you can do one of those
Oh
things.
my god, that's so much. Okay.
So usually it's 2, but that's for when you fill out the entire track. For each milestone, I'm going to have you choose 1. And then once you fill out the whole track, you'll get 2.
Okay.
Give me just 1
So
second.
we're each doing this for our stuff?
Yes.
So all of us get to choose one of those things.
A new piece of equipment? Or like gear? We can have 4 things, not...
I'm
or
not
do
sure
we
if there's
swap
a.
one?
I don't think there's any equipment.
Oh, I thought he said...
So you get 1 new ability. So like in your scholar or your journalist and whatever the other one is. You can either do that one of those. You can add. So like on move or whatever, you had 2 filled out initially. You could add another action point to any of the things on the left. Or you could add 2 additional drives to either nerve, cunning, or intuition. Or you can add another filled in diamond on the left for getting a gilded dice for that particular roll. So you're going to do one of those 4 things.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you each gonna do one of those things, and then now the other thing you get to do, because we can also do this off stream, but then the other thing is the Candela resources. I think you filled that out, right? It should be.
Yes, we have 3
refresh,
stitch, 4 refresh. I think that's what we
Oh
had.
yeah, okay. Yep. 3 refresh, 4 stitch. So what this is you can use these. Now remember, this is for all of the assignments you're gonna go on. But you can use one to a stitch gets rid of all your marks. A refresh refills all of your drives and resistances, and then we don't have any trains, so we don't have to worry about that one. And so if you feel like you need a stitch or a refresh, you can take it. You can choose one of them, I think.
How much was the stitch? All the marks, or just certain
Yep.
amounts? Sorry.
All the marks.
All of them? Well, I have 2 body, 2 brain, 3 bleed. So
Yeah. Definitely need
I
that.
have 3 brains.
So I say
One
we use a stitch.
body, 2 bleed. Does that reset our gear, or do we always just have the same 3 things that we pulled out already?
Your
I thought
gear
it
Thought it
would
was
reset every-
resets. Yep, it resets
every
every
assignment.
Every assignment.
Every assignment.
Oh, okay.
All right. Everyone good with stitch?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, so you're taking a stitch, Clyde?
Yep.
All right. Is anyone else going to take something?
Oh, does every person?
Yep, every person can choose one.
Oh, and would that take 3 stitches then?
Yeah,
If we all did
everyone
it?
took a stitch. Everyone took-
I won't take one then. I mean, I do have 2 bleeds though.
I mean, even if you take a scar, it's not like the end of the world.
You
Yeah,
have to
I'll
take
just
4
not.
scars to die.
Yeah, that's true.
I just took it because I'm almost gonna get scarred in all 3
Mhm.
categories.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
don't
guess you
blame.
could
I'm
hold
glad
off.
you did. I'll hold off too.
I'll just avoid
have a-
doing brain activity.
Oh, you'll be used to that, I'm sure.
Boy.
I guess you could take a refresh if you don't have very many drives or if you used any resistances. But if you feel like you still have a good amount,
How many refreshes do we have?
4.
Does my bleed reset because I got the scar?
Yeah, you erase your
Okay.
bleed. Just write down that you have a scar.
Yep.
You're good to go.
Gosh, yeah, the
Um,
refresh might
And
be
it
good
was
for
exactly
my
4, right? So now that
drives.
carries over.
Yep.
Yep, you're good.
you used like more than half drives.
I think I've used exactly half.
Okay. Now remember, you can get stuff back with gilded dice rolls.
Yeah, okay.
So if you think you can make it another assignment,
I'll try.
All right, so.
excellent
as-
description of the freaking glob chasing us. God damn.
Mhm.
Yeah, true.
Thank you.
That's good.
So, as you all return back to wherever your personal life looks like, you take this time in between assignments to decompress after that situation. You know, taking those stitches, recovering yourself, or studying up, relaxing, doing what you need to do to prepare yourself for the next assignment to come. And you guys have passed off this canister to Vince, and Vince just says, "We'll we'll take a look into this, and that's very interesting. Cooper, you say? I will take a look, and you guys do the rest of your debrief and inform everything that you have to share, and that's where we will end this episode. Are you guys all still good for Sunday night for the next one? Try and get 2 done this weekend?
I think that should work for me.
Does that work for
Okay.
you,
Yeah.
Crazy?
Probably good.
All right.
Burp.
So, thank you so much for everyone who's been here in the
Mhm.
chat. I appreciate you all.
Yeah, got a lot of
Um,
people here.
And we'll be back on Sunday night, same time. The stream will start about 7:50 PM PST, and then we'll try. We went a little bit over today. We try and aim for about 2.5 hours or so. But I hope to see you all there. If we just want to go around real quick and say your name, whether it's your Twitch name or your actual name, it's up to you. Who you were playing. So we'll just start with you, Crazy Knock.
Was that me? So you cut out a little bit.
Yeah, we can start with whoever wants to. Whoever.
Oh. I am Sexy Potato in Crazy Knock's chat. I'm sexy. And I was playing Professor Clyde Bigglesworth. So Clyde would like to thank all of you for joining us on this first episode of the Candela Obscura. If you have any feedback to make it more entertaining or exciting, then we would be more than happy to oblige, and we appreciate all of you. This was a blast. And a huge shout out to D-Wall Axer. If you have a Twitch Prime, perhaps, I'm sure that he would love to participate in that program, supported by the Academy of the Briar College. But yes, thank you everybody.
Wow.
Alright.
Good,
Jezebel.
good voice. That was honestly very impressive. I'm Deathkiss, and I played Jezebel.
Alright. And Drake.
Yes, I'm Crazy Knock. I am brothers with Sexy Potato, aka Sexy.
That's why we fight.
Yes. D-Wall is a good friend of mine, and I played Drake.
And you can catch
Got
him at
another-
twitch.tv/crazyknock.
Thank you, yep. He's very good, what is it called? Game Master or something?
Game Master. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You guys could
Very
probably do like
good.
a co-op stream, right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
I
way people
probably
can
will.
look at your face. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, true. I don't want anyone to see my
and
face.
I am D-Wall Laxer. I've been your game master. And thank you so much. I'll see you all next time. Peace.
Thank you.
Yeah.